And we're back.
Hi, friends.
How are you?
I hope all is well in your general vicinity of the woods. Oh.
Yes.
Did you see the email that we got, the Facebook message that we got from one of our listeners?
I did.
Okay.
I did. And then hours later went, I spelled that wrong.
Yeah. So, this is for you. If you're listening, you know who you are. Moist.
When you finally get to this episode.
Right.
I guess this is just going to be like a life updatey, chit-chatty. There's no like plan. I have like talking points that I wrote down. I have a couple of like a hot take saved in my phone. It's not really a hot take. It's more of like a mild take. It's an opinion about a band.
Okay.
A specific band that's like blowing up right now.
Okay.
I'll just go ahead and get into it. Have you heard Sleep Token?
I've heard of them.
Have you listened to any of it?
Not really. Isn't that the band that had like all the weird like...
They wear masks. They're all... I don't know that anybody...
Is that the one that I emailed you about that I was like, what is going on with this? Like...
Maybe. I don't know. So, my hot take is... Because they are very popular. Like, they're a very popular band. Like... Pixie likes them. Her boyfriend likes them. A lot of people in the Discord like them. I had never heard them. I heard of them, but I had never listened to them. And I was like,
maybe I have, and I just don't know.
I was like, because they had a new album that came out recently, and people were in a tizzy about it. And they were like, what's your favorite song? Da 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 da. And I said, confession, I have never heard a Sleep Token song. Never in my life. And I was like, which one should I start with? And I was like, all of them were wrong answers. Sorry, y'all. You were all wrong. Because I started with, hold on. Let me look them up right quick and I can tell you what song it was. Sleep Token, Emergence. That was the one that was recommended I listened to first as like a newcomer. Wrong answer. That's the wrong answer. Take Me Back to Eden is the correct answer to that.
I have heard that one.
It's good. I like that one. That one's in my playlist. I like that one. However, I'm just not into it. I'm not into it. It's not bad. It's not that it's bad. It's all technically correct. Like, the music sounds wonderful. I could see myself really, really enjoying Sleep Token. However, there is a pet peeve that I have. And, like, I think if I were diagnosed, I would be the brand of autism that is very, like, lyrically and musically driven. I, like, analyze lyrics. It's my thing. I love it. So, I'm listening to Sleep Token. I listened to a few songs, and I'm like, there's just one thing that I cannot get past. Have you heard of cursive singing?
Oh, my.
It's not throughout the song. So, like, there are parts of the song that are, like, it's fine. And I think it's because the lead singer may have an accent that it comes out that way.
Yeah.
But I can't unhear the cursive singing. And I can't pretend that I don't hear it.
Right.
And it's all I can think about when I'm listening to it. So, and I just don't enjoy it. I don't. Mm-mm. Some songs that I listened to were worse in the cursive singing department. And you know what I'm talking about when I say cursive singing. Yeah. It's that, like, I don't know, it's like drawn out vowels. Yeah. And it's like you're talking at the front of your throat rather than the back of your throat. It doesn't sound like it comes from the voice box.
Right.
Like, it's like, I don't know. It's the thought of it. It's terrible. Anyway, other than that, I enjoy Sleep Token, and I'm happy that other people can enjoy it because it is good. And in another lifetime, it would have been my personality. But because
I could see, like,
I can't, like,
10 years ago you.
Yes, 10 years ago me.
Oh, that definitely sounds like some shit that dumbass would have gotten you in on.
Maybe, probably. I don't know if now that I know leanings, you know, there's no way we ever would have been friends like now versus like it would have fallen apart anyway. Because there's just some things that I just can't get behind. But anyway, so yeah, I was like, this feels like a hot take. This, like, because people who like Sleep Token love Sleep Token. Like, they love it. And I'm not, like I've said, it's like with the Rolling Stones. They're big for a reason. People like it. I don't have to like it. And and I'm so happy for the people. Like, that's an open concert ticket for you. Right. Because I'm not even going to try.
Back in the day, listen, I'm not a huge Rolling Stones fan now. But back in the day,
I'm
like
more
in high
apt
school,
to it today than
I remember specifically asking my parents to buy me like their greatest hits album or something, and I blared that shit.
The older stuff is pretty good. I think they should hang it up. But
another older band that I do not like and don't know that I have ever really cared for, and this is a hot take.
Mm-hmm.
Aerosmith.
I don't like Aerosmith. If Steven Tyler would have sang the way he did on what's that fucking song? What is that song? I already said it. I'm gonna say it.
I started to say that's gonna happen.
This is a chit chatty episode. We're gonna say fuck anyway.
I'm very conscious
song?
of the fact of I'm like bumping into furniture now.
You should be good. That will not disintegrate. Oh, did we explain that?
I think we did talk about it. I think I
explained. So when we recorded last time.
We talked about it on the episode after.
Okay.
And so, because my sister said something to me about it. She's like, is that story going to come later? And I'm like, no, maybe later. Mm-hmm. I'm like, but... So I had to explain to her all of it.
Yeah, because that was the craziest shit. Was that bookcase just fucking... It disintegrated before our very eyes. I'm so shocked that nothing but the bookcase was broken. That bookcase... So what I did was the bookcase... Yes, that's the new one. It's anchored to the wall. I had Daniel anchor it. I did not anchor it. I had Daniel put the bookcase together. And so I just moved my like cube storage with my printer and stuff. So like you're fine bumping into that. That's pretty sturdy. Like Willow jumps all over it and it's fine. But like
I like how
that was the craziest.
This is going nuts.
It's the vent blowing it. But yeah. So what is that Aerosmith song though? The one where he sings with like his deeper voice.
I don't know. There is a very... I have never really cared for Aerosmith, but there is a very specific to me reason.
Dream On. And then he gets the higher pitch at the end. I think I probably would have enjoyed it if that was the vibe. If it was but it progressed to where everything was high note, and it doesn't agree with my ears. It's one of the reasons why I like Bob Dylan as an artist, but I don't really listen to Bob Dylan a lot because there's a lot of harmonicas, and it's like it pains my ears.
I have an aversion to Aerosmith specifically because there is a person in my past that was obsessed.
Isn't that crazy? How like a person can ruin like an artist for you. But like, how many of y'all are gonna, whenever you think about Taylor Swift, you're gonna think about me?
Honestly, the entire reason that I have made it a point to not try and listen to any of her shit.
Yeah.
This is me taking a page out of your book. Is specifically because I know you would love the shit out of it if I did. And I actually said
we could go to concerts together.
So now I'm like, I'm just not going to do it because I have held my foothold.
I mean, it's like I said something because I'm like, I stay.
You can take Gemma to the concerts.
Yes. I stay on Threads. Why did I open that? I stay on Threads, and I like saw a post the other day that was like something about Taylor Swift, and I was like, I said, I really regret the time I spent being a hater, because it was, I know what it was. It was a TikTok video because there's an unreleased song called I'd Lie that I missed that. I missed, like, people, like, were, like, crashing out their family's computers getting this song off of LimeWire. She's starting early with her backpack digging. But anyway. So, yeah, like, people were crashing out their family computer with downloading I'd Lie off of LimeWire back in the day. I've never heard this song. I missed out on that. I missed out on that excitement. And I was like, I really regret being a hater because that song is actually really good. And I was like, I don't know. I feel bad. I was like, but I feel like I'm making up for it now. But yeah, and I think, listen, honestly, you don't have to, like, be over the moon about an artist. That's fine. You can be a casual listener and be
over
fine.
The moon. I have a couple of those. You know who I have not reintroduced, but you know who I have gotten back into the past couple of weeks? Elton John.
Okay.
I love Elton John.
I don't know that I've listened to a little bit, but I've never really, of course, you know, being Princess Diana obsessed, Candle in the Wind was my personality as a child. Every time I go to the thrift store and I see a Princess Diana book, I typically buy it now. I'm like, I don't have to hide who I am.
Right.
Screw it. Who cares?
No, there was one song a couple weeks ago. I swear I listened to this song like 4 times in a day. It was, I guess that's why they call it the blues. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I love that song. I don't know why, but I'm like, it's like my favorite.
Yeah. But speaking of Taylor Swift, she now owns her whole catalog. I was having a lot of feelings. This is Saturday. This is the day after she, like, announced it. And I was really, because, like, again, back on Threads, somebody was like, somebody was like, I just don't understand why people are excited about this. And, like, how this, like, I don't know. It was very weird. It was like, I don't understand why people are excited to now stream, you know, the old music when you had the CDs and stuff. And it's like, it's not about that. Like, Swifties collectively decided, I'm going to exclusively stream and support her versions, and in the hopes that she'll be able to buy her entire life's work again.
Right.
And I was like, I feel like that's what community is.
I'm bringing the dogs out. They should do it. Got to go.
Where is that? Oh, yeah, that's what I said. I was like, because somebody said, so you really didn't listen to her original albums for years just because the streaming money didn't go to her? Yes, that is what being a true fan of someone is. And I said, it's called community, people. We do things to help each other. We helped her when she needed it, and the world would be a much happier place if it was run by Swifties. Some of them are toxic. Just don't. But
I mean,
like,
I
a lot
tend to
of
agree
people
with that statement, though.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's like,
okay. So hear me out.
Like, if it's like a positive,
hear me out,
community experience.
If this country was run by Swifties in the way that a Chick-fil-A is ran,
yeah,
that'd be like, that's the dream.
Yeah, I agree.
Except for the religious aspect of it.
Right.
But
like, even somebody on here was like, listening to the Taylor's versions doesn't give you the moral high ground. Nobody's said that.
Right.
I don't know. I think people are weird about it. I also saw, like, I was the only person that commented on this other post that was like, she went on a rant about, she was like, I don't understand why Taylor Swift gets so much crap and the Kardashians and the Jenners don't, and they're far worse. And I said, it's probably because they pay for their publicity. Yeah. I was like, they pay for it. I was like, they pay for positive headlines. They pay for their image to look perfect. I was like, and she doesn't pay for that publicity, and she doesn't call paparazzi when she's going to be somewhere. I was like, and she just exists, and people are just like, I can't have that. I don't understand it. But that's my Taylor Swift tangent for now. But I was really excited about that yesterday. And then I heard that I started to tell you about this. I was having some very big feelings yesterday. So anybody that knows me knows that I love, love, love Harry Potter, right? Well, as anybody who is paying attention knows, that the author is a piece of shit. Like, she sucks as a human being. Girl. Like, all she does now is, like, spew hatred. It's disgusting, I think. And she has, like, come out and said, so there's a new HBO Harry Potter show. People are already, like, irritated about it because of the casting.
Can I tell you how removed I am from the situation that I didn't know that was a thing?
Yeah. I knew it was a thing, but I had no intention to watch it. Just because of her. I don't want to put a single penny of my money into her pocket. But, like, I thought about it yesterday after I heard that, because she was like, if all of the money that I make from this show, I'm going to start an organization that is going to take away trans rights. And, like, and I even, in the Discord, like, I recommended to somebody not too long ago, I was like, because she was like, I never read the Harry Potter books. And I was like, I recommend it. I was like, don't buy them new, just get them used. I was like, don't buy a digital version. I was like, get them from a thrift store or whatever. Well, a girl that lives in the UK was like, let me tell you just how harmful it is to even recommend that somebody read the books. And, like, informed everybody about, like, how big of a deal it is, about how nasty of a human being she is. And she was like, I realize that y'all are American and y'all don't, this isn't in your news. She was like, but this is, like, a big deal over here. And I was like, man, like, and all of the actors, like, who were in the movies, most of them have been like, we don't have anything to do with whatever bullshit she's got going on. Because, like, that's all she...
molesting my bag over here.
Like, aggressively. She looked up at you like, excuse me.
Aggressively molesting my bag over here. Like, pushing it into my leg.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. But, yeah. So, like, I've known for a long time that, like, Joanne is a piece of shit. Right? And, like, I struggled yesterday because, like, I have a whole bedroom that's, like, decorated in all of my Harry Potter stuff. It's, like, something that I have always found comfort in this series. And, like, this, somebody was like, because even we're planning the upcoming Pixie retreat and we're talking about going to Universal. First of all, I don't think it's worth the money. It's expensive.
It is expensive, and with that many people, that's going to be a lot. Because I will tell you,
like, we would obviously go probably, and most of us would do our own things. Because, like I said, I was like, especially somebody who's like an LGBTQ person may not want to go to the Harry Potter stuff. And, you know, she was like, well, there's other stuff. I was like, yeah, but all that money goes to the same place.
Yeah.
I was like, all that money is being spent in the same place. And I was like, and the more that I've thought about it, the more I'm like, I don't think I'm going to do that. Even if I would love to see it in person. But, like, I was scrolling threads last night and somebody was like, every time I think, well, maybe I can visit the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at least once, she reminds me why I don't ever want to put another dime in her pocket. And I was like, and somebody said, you know, same, it breaks my heart. I still love the series, but I will only ever buy things that are not official or secondhand. I exclusively buy off eBay or, like, from flea markets, stuff like that. And it's the vintage stuff, or it's, like, from liquidation stores. Yeah. Where, like, that money was in her pocket years ago.
Yeah.
And the money that I'm spending now is going to a small business or, like, a booth at a flea market or whatever. But like yesterday, hearing that, I was like, I said, I haven't bought anything new in years, and I pretty much only buy vintage, secondhand, or unofficial. I was like, this new situation about the show has me feeling icky about even having a collection. I was like, at this point, it's purely nostalgic, and it like reminds me of like the Christmas that I got all the stuff to decorate my bedroom in. I'm gonna try not to cry because I sobbed yesterday. And I was like, and the excitement of when the books came out or when the movies were coming out, I was like, I was so excited. And I was like, my inner child has been clinging to the only thing that brought me joy for years. And it like, made me feel safe. And it was like a story about overcoming obstacles and being inclusive. And, just because somebody's different doesn't mean there's something wrong with them. Only for the person that I'm going to say allegedly, because she's been accused of stealing the story, who wrote it, to come out and say and be this. I refuse to believe that the same person. I don't know what this timeline's pissing me off that we're in. But I was like, I said, that heifer is ruining that for me, is ruining, it's shattering my inner child. And I was like, and I will never, ever be able to forgive her for that. Even if she comes out and apologizes for everything, I will never forgive that bitch. Ever. And I was like, and I added on to it, I said, it's very cruel of her to bring magic into the lives of so many people, particularly children, and then sully the message of inclusivity and overcoming insane obstacles in life with insane bigotry and hatred. I'm very much struggling with separating the art from the artist right now, and it feels like I was lied to. Like, I think that's deep down is like, I feel like she created this happy, magical experience for so many people, and then it's like, oh, but by the way, I'm a dickhead.
Right.
And I'm going to make sure that everybody knows I'm a dickhead.
Right.
And I'm going to spend your money making sure that everybody knows I'm a dickhead. Like,
see, but here's what bothers me is if you think about the vast majority of the Harry Potter fans, the diehards.
Yeah.
And this is me.
And that includes trans people.
This is me. This is me making an assumption.
Yeah.
Please keep in mind that I am a part of the community.
Yeah,
okay.
Right.
I would wager to say the vast majority of the diehard Harry Potter people are a part of the community.
Oh yeah, definitely.
A huge portion.
Oh, a massive part. And even like people who were in the movies. And I mean, it's insane to me. Like the flip. And it's not like it was like, I mean, it's not like this happened yesterday.
Right.
Like we've been new.
Right.
And like, that's why I just don't, because also another thing is like her pen name is J.K. Rowling, because she knew that if she used Joanne, she wouldn't be taken seriously as a woman.
Right. And
it's like, but you're going to actively work to make sure that nobody else has that type of privilege.
Right.
And it irks me. That's why I call her Joanne, because that's her fucking name. So Joanne can kick rocks. And I'm not ready to I'm not ready to, like, I'm never probably going to sell my collection, but I feel like I'm sliding into a point where it's like I might pack it up.
Right.
And because it almost feels icky to even display it.
Right.
And that's a personal choice for me. Not everybody, like, has to feel that way, but it feels like she's sucked the magic out of it for me. And yeah. I hate to, like, give somebody that type of power, but it's like, I don't want to even make it look like I support the kind of bullshit she's into. And like, I don't know. It didn't sit. And so like yesterday I was having a lot of big feelings because I was feeling that about that. I was like devastated. And then also happy and excited for Taylor Swift to own her masters. So it was a lot of that. And I had a good cry about it. And then I came home and I got really, really, really high and colored and watched a documentary and took notes. That'll be coming up later. You'll hear that in a few weeks. Cause I did also have feelings about that.
That one was I think
because my emotions were so raw, I was pissed.
Yeah.
By the end of that documentary.
That documentary pissed me off the first time. Because if I'm not mistaken, I suggested that one to begin with.
I think it was on my list, but I had never seen it. And you were like, I've seen
this. Because I think when we started talking about that other one, I had said, this is similar, or I thought it was similar, but it really wasn't. We should definitely do this one too.
Yeah.
Because we've touched on that topic before in the past.
And I think, I don't know, I can't wait to get into it.
Yeah.
Do you have any life updates before I talk about the Pixie Retreat?
So let's see. Soccer's over. I think that was as of the last, no, I don't know. Anyway, soccer's over. Went to the Shinedown concert. I don't remember if that had been before the last time we recorded. It was great. Had a great time. Had a massage the weekend before Mother's Day. That was fantastic.
I may save up and do that for myself for my birthday.
So let me tell you about this lady. I don't want to say her name. She's got because I don't know. She knows about the podcast.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit. Mm-hmm. She said she was going to look it up. Whether or not she did, I don't know.
Yeah.
She's very cool. She's eccentric.
I love an eccentric bitch.
I like her. She is the epitome of, like, you talk to her, she's definitely Southern. Girl, I've been knowing you had two open. I've been knowing, because you said, I'm going to go in there and get another one. And I'm like, she's got one right there, but I'm just going to let her do it.
It's full.
Yeah, you just opened it. Like, I watched you crack two of them open since we've been doing this. Anyway, I was waiting to see how long it would take you.
I look over and I was like, wait a minute, when did that get there? If it's not evident, I don't take Adderall on the weekends anymore.
So this lady, she is eccentric. I know all about her life now. It wasn't a very, in which TJ told me it was like this too, but like, it's not a super relaxing, quiet, you've got time to think type massage. Like, she's definitely going to talk to you.
Yeah.
Which I didn't mind.
See, I don't know if I'd like that.
Well, to be real, she asked me what my pain threshold was before we started. Because she does cupping too.
Yeah.
She asked me what my pain threshold was because we had talked about I've had a hip replacement, this, that, and the other. Mm-hmm. She's like, well, we're going to work on that hip. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. She said, what's your pain tolerance? And I was like, I mean, I've had 3 kids. Yes, I had drugs, but like,
yeah,
I've been through some things. I was like, I can be a sissy about stuff.
Broken your hip.
Yeah. I'm like, I can be a sissy about some things. But like, I can handle it.
Yeah.
That was the wrong thing to say.
No.
Her talking was the only reason I didn't tap out on a few occasions.
See, I like to think, like, in some aspects, I do have quite a high pain tolerance, because, like, even if a tattoo is hurting, I'm generally not going to be squirming. Or, like, even when I got my IUD, I did not squirm. when I went back, like, for my 1-year check to make sure it's where she left it, she was like, she told the student, teacher, or the student that was with her that day, she was like, she did not move when I inserted this. And I was like, I'm very good of, like, if I'm in pain, I might yelp, I might do something, but I'm not gonna move if I can help it.
Well,
but
it felt good. It felt really good.
But I'm worried that like muscles are going to be sensitive and I'm going to cry.
They're, especially with my legs and my hips, like, oh, there were a few times that I was like, I'm going to tap. This is painful. This sucks.
Yeah.
But I didn't say anything. I didn't do it because I was like, it needs it.
Yeah.
It needs it.
I think the pain is the sign that it needs it. Yeah.
She did not come. She tried to talk politics with me briefly, and just based off of the few things that she did say, I can tell that we might have similar opinions.
Yeah. But like, that's not something you want to talk about.
Right. I kind of shut it down really quickly and just like, oh yeah, and just kind of like didn't further indulge.
Like when you're trying to relax, you don't want to think about like one of the things that's stressing you out.
I think that like what brought it up mostly was that she's got a background in the medical field.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we talked about like what I do for work and all of this, and so you know, it kind of tied into the medical stuff that's going on.
Yeah, I got you. I love that, like, because one of the doctor we see every week for our weight loss class, she's never said outright, like, it's not like we discuss it.
Yeah.
But it's the way she words certain things where I'm just like, she gets it.
Yeah. Oh, the people in the medical field get it. Like
not all of them. Well, I'll go ahead. I'll tell you not all of them.
Most of them.
Most of them.
But it was a very cool experience. I do think she's witchy. Because like there was like Tree of Life stuff all over the place, and then like she did put on like an ambient music at the beginning. And sorry, that was my phone telling me I have an email. Jesus.
You have another email.
She did put on like ambient music at the beginning. And she did tell me that she selects her music by way of I think she goes to like YouTube and types in like something just tells her like a number. And then she'll go to like meditative music, track number, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then it'll be, you know, for letting go, like the one that she had picked out for me prior to me getting there was letting go of generational curses, or like forgiving your ancestors.
Yeah.
Which I can't like put my finger on anything specifically that I'd like to say I hold against my ancestors.
Yeah.
But who knows? I might have needed it. I never got to really hear it. But
if somebody's yapping the whole time.
But it wasn't an unpleasant experience.
That's the only thing that gets me is like, I think I need like a quiet, peaceful.
Right.
To like, if I really want to relax.
And I'm sure if you were to say to her, look, I appreciate the chit chat, but I really just want to like chill, she'd probably back off a little bit.
Yeah.
The other one that I've been to that's right behind, like in the same building where my mom works, she can go either way. And I do think that she'd be cool if you were just like, I just really need a quiet space.
Yeah.
There's been like, because TJ and I have both gone there, and then like we've gone like same day, him before me, and like she talked his ears off and then was silent while I was in there.
Yeah.
I think that she's good about reading energy and knowing what you need. But then like the second time that I went to that woman, she talked to me a little bit more, but I was more conversational with her that time.
Yeah.
The first time that we had gone to that one, I had just found out that I was going to get a hip replacement like within a month. So I was a little feeling some type of way about it.
Right.
But anyway, so the massage was great. It was definitely needed. It was a good Mother's Day present. Let's see. There was other things. We took Easton to his first concert last night. The Music City Rodeo, and then Jelly Roll did a concert afterwards. Now, what you guys
I really liked
his
hat.
There's a story. So what you guys need to know is that initially the Shinedown tickets were bought for Easton's first concert.
Yeah.
Easton decided a couple weeks before that he didn't want to go.
Yeah.
He was afraid it was going to be too loud, one. 2, these are the words he used.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to wait until I'm 9. He's 7.
Yeah.
I'm going to wait until I'm 9 to go to my first concert, or if I can see Jelly Roll first.
Yeah.
Jelly Roll is his favorite.
Yeah.
He's obsessed. The kid has been singing Save Me word for word
since it came out.
Forever. Okay?
Yeah.
Obsessed. So we got these tickets to go. I won't divulge into the story of that.
But you got tickets.
We got tickets. And we told him about it. He was super excited about it. So my in-laws know Jelly's tour bus driver. I think that's what he is.
Mm-hmm.
So he gives them this hat.
Oh.
So they give it to him. Yeah. The hat, it's just a black trucker hat. It's one of the good hats.
It's a foam hat.
But like the band on the inside.
It's like a sweatband?
Yeah, it's like soft cloth
It's
material.
probably an auto cap.
Oh, it's fantastic.
If I had to guess, it's an auto cap.
But it's black, and it says, "My other ride is Bunny XO," which, should we have put that on a 7-year-old?
Probably not.
Probably not.
But I thought it was personally hilarious.
Did anyone say anything about it last night? Absolutely not.
No. There was probably another 7-year-old with the same hat.
I don't know.
Somewhere.
Maybe. But no one said anything about it. He thought he was big shit. He had the greatest time. He thought the rodeo was fantastic. It had all the events. He decided he didn't want to try mutton busting. If any of y'all know what that is. Mm-hmm. It's like when the little kids hold on to the sheep and the sheep run out of the chute.
Yeah.
And they got to hold on for as long as they can. The kid that won it was funny. He falls off. He gets up, throws his little hands in the air like, woo, yeah, go me. And then they interview him afterwards after he wins. And he's like, did you bring your girlfriend with him or with you? And he looks at the guy and he's like, no. And he's like Easton's age. He's like, 7, 8, somewhere in there.
Why would I bring?
He was like, no. And the guy goes, well, why not? And he goes, because she lives somewhere else. Oh my God. It was the greatest. But they had like everything. Easton said he didn't want to do mutton busting because it looked too easy for him. Yeah. He enjoyed the bareback broncs. There was only like one serious-ish injury. Like one of the barebacks came out of the chute straight to the wall and like hit the wall, which my friend Alicia was there with her mom, and they were sitting in that section, like right in front of where that piece of wall fence was. And so I had texted her and asked her if she about shit her pants, but she never responded to that because I would have. But it goes straight into the wall and it pretty much crushed dude's leg. When he finally came off, he went down, went to stand up, and you could immediately tell that he couldn't put weight on that leg. And so he's waving, for somebody to come and get him. So they had to carry him off. It was cool. Easton's favorite event of the whole night, which shocked. Also kind of proud because it is one of my favorite parts, one of my favorite events of a rodeo. He liked the roping, the calf roping. When I explained the different events, when I was explaining them to you earlier, they sound so cruel.
Yeah.
They truly do.
Yeah.
But all in that to say, I understand that this all came about because this is things that has to happen on an everyday ranch. Like when you're getting calves from point A to point B, or you're having to restrain them for X, Y, and Z reasons. And it's not necessarily a cruel thing. Now, doing it for entertainment purposes, maybe, but none of the animals get hurt.
It's like the same reason why I refuse to ride in like a horse-drawn carriage in like a tourist town, because they do not treat those horses nicely.
But I mean, you could look at these animals and tell none of them were hurt.
Yeah, and I'm sure that they have
mistreated,
and I'm sure that they have like guidelines and standards that they have to like uphold.
And to be honest with you, a lot of like the bulls that they ride, they're not mean, honestly. Like, I'm sure that there's quite a few of them that you could walk up and pet on a normal day, but the fact that they've got something squeezing them around their stomachs, and then you've got this jackass sitting on top of them, is pissing them off. And so they're like, get the fuck off of me.
Right.
But like, I love the shit. Listen to me. When I tell you growing up, the story of Lane Frost was my personality for a long time. Okay?
I did love that movie.
Do you remember those days for me?
When, a little bit, yeah.
That was my personality. Cowboy hat, whole nines, okay? Yeah. I worked at Boot Barn, okay? That's like one of the number one retailers of Western wear.
Yeah.
You've been to a rodeo, you've heard the words Boot Barn, okay? Yeah. Anywhere. Except for like little small. Mm-hmm. But like, that was my personality. I've been knowing the story of Lane Frost.
Right.
So rodeos are my thing. Last night was a great time. All that said to say. Then this morning I get told that next month. Now we're taking the kids to the mountains next week. Mm-hmm. Family vacation just for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Good time. I'm excited about it. Can't wait to go. We're taking the dogs. We're going to hike with the dogs. It's going to be fantastic. Maybe, hopefully.
Probably be fun.
I'm excited. In July, for my anniversary, we're going to Denver.
Yeah.
And then we're going to drive over, and I get to check a trip off of my trip bucket list. And I'm going to Cheyenne, Wyoming, to go to Frontier Days, which is the rodeo that Lane Frost died at.
Yeah.
And like, that's just been, it's 36 years. I'm 4 days shy of the 36-year mark when I go.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Not that he died. But
to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm stoked. Like, I can't even, 16-year-old me is absolutely losing her shit right now.
Yeah.
That this is becoming a reality.
Right.
This is all you're going to hear about for the next couple of months. And probably for a couple months after. So strap in. Other than that, so my obsessions over the past couple, because I'll like lock on to a TV show or something.
Yeah.
Season 2 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives came out.
Yeah.
Girl. Messy is all I got to say. I don't do reality TV like that.
Yeah.
I don't like Love Island and stupid
The only
shit
Love
like
Island I like is the Sims version that Pixie does.
I don't do stupid shit like that. Like, I watched Sister Wives. Because someone recommended it to me and I got into it and I'm like, let's do it. And then that started an obsession with like Mormons and polygamy. And like,
one of the girls at the retreat like collects, like, she's like, I'm not Mormon, but I collect Mormon things.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm interesting. Fascinated by it.
Oh, it is so interesting. So then I started watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives when it came out the last season. It's messy. It's like a train wreck, but you can't look away. Like, me and my sister will be watching it and texting each other like, did you see this? I can't wait for you to get caught up. I have thoughts. I have things.
That's funny.
Season 2 comes out. Big feelings.
Yeah.
Big feelings. And every person that I thought I liked, I fucking hate. And I like people that I didn't think I would.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Absolutely nuts. And then shit's popping off on Sister Wives too. Like, I'm already ahead of the game with their shit because like all of their shit is so publicized and it's not
even running, I know what's been going on.
Right. It's not running the timeline that the show is on. We're way ahead.
Yeah, we're like, I don't know, it's been almost a year, hasn't it?
Yeah. So like now we're at the tail end of this last season and like Garrison has passed away and like, now all the drama's coming out on social media about how Cody wasn't even supposed to be at the funeral and that there was drama. And, like, the whole quote-unquote pilgrimage where he took Garrison's ashes to his home to, like, Cody's family land and put him in a plot there. Like, you could just tell because they showed from a distance that memorial service that they had at the cemetery.
Yeah.
you could tell that there was definite lines.
Yeah.
Of who was with who.
Yeah.
And it was like a whole lot of people.
And then not a lot of people.
It was like, you got like Christine's family, Mary's family, Janelle's family, and friends all over here. Cody's mom over here.
Oh, wow.
And then you got Cody, Robin, and their kids.
Yeah.
2.
I think a lot of that is probably Cody and Robin ostracizing themselves. It's them doing it to themselves. Like, she
that
can
whole
sit there.
Episode,
she can sit there and whine and cry about how I didn't sign up to be a monogamous wife.
But she made it so.
Yes. You literally were like the linchpin in the situation that caused the full deterioration of 3 other relationships. Do I agree with polygamy? No. Does it work for some people? Sure. Not gonna work for me.
Listen, so here's my thought process behind it. The idea of having, I'm trying to like figure out what I want to say. The idea of having a sisterhood of women where we help raise each other's children.
Yeah. That sounds fine. But it's
the
one man who just wants to be fucking a whole bunch of women.
Yeah.
And not really staying and taking care of his kids at each of them's houses.
And like
there's no way that you can be that involved with all of your children. You are quite literally only in this to be fucking.
Right.
Like that's the way that it be. Like, I 100% agree. Like, women creating a community, being sisters and taking care of each other's kids and da-da-da-da-da. But it's the sharing the husband part.
That's the part that bothers me the most. And like, see, here, maturity in my brain.
Because I feel like that's an automatic scapegoat for him helping to take care of his children.
Maturity in my brain at this point, because I was about to say something that like, I have switched my mindset to pay attention to what you're saying on this podcast, because one day we may be that part. We may get to that point where we can't go to Walmart
where
anymore.
People are like digging up like shit we've said. Yeah. It's problematic.
So I have finally made it to that point.
Yeah.
So let me just say this. I'm not going to share my husband.
Yeah.
The idea of sharing my husband with another woman in an intimate.
Yeah. In a biblical sense.
Yeah, I almost said that. Bothers me.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
Like, it's like I've said, like, for some people, that type of, like, open, relationship works.
Bro, if it works for some, you,
it does not work. If it's not a totally toxic environment.
Hell yeah, brother.
Go for it.
Hell yeah, brother.
Whatever works for you. But I get too easily annoyed with just like one human being in this relationship.
I'm too.
I don't need anybody else to get irritated with.
Okay, so I'm jealous, but hear me out when I say this.
I do have jealous tendencies, but it's not like, I don't know, it's different. It's also one of those things that's like, it's different for everybody.
I'm going to be the first person to point out a hot redhead across the room.
Exactly.
I'm going to be the first person to point out a fucking dump truck of an ass on a woman. I'm going to be the first person.
I'll be looking at dudes too.
Not me.
And Daniel, he'll be like, sometimes he'll be like, did you see the juice on that man?
Oh my God. No, I'm going to be the first one.
It's only when it's like super impressive.
Well, I'm going to be the one that's going to point it out. But I'm going to tell you right now, if he speaks to her, I'm going to be like, does she cook and clean? Is she going to take care of the kids?
Right.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
She's not going to get in my bed.
Right.
If she touches him in any shape, form, or fashion as that I could misconstrue as flirting, it's over.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done.
Especially if like he doesn't like step away or...
Here is my toxic trait.
Yeah.
If she walks up to me...
That's different.
And she like... touches my arm in a flirtatious way. I'm looking at him like, you got any objections? Because you need to have it, let it be known right now.
That's funny.
Anyway, But yeah, so that whole thing has been my obsession. Now, here's what I wanted to point out to you. And I was going to call you about this yesterday, but I decided to wait. I have started rewatching The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Okay.
I thought about rewatching that recently.
I started. So, remember...
It's only like 3 seasons, right?
Yeah, it's not bad. Remember that Ambrose... You remember which one he is?
I do. I have I've been writing a book, and I have a character named Ambrose.
Okay. So he's bound to the house, okay?
Right.
Because he tried to blow up the Vatican.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's telling Faustus Blackwood what happened, how he got mixed into that, okay?
Yeah.
And he makes a comment that, his dad passed away. He was going from place to place to place trying to find a father figure, and then finally found someone that he connected with. Do you know who that was?
I don't remember.
Alistair fucking Crowley.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It hit me because he said Crowley.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, because I think I do remember that, because I was a little perturbed with the way he said because he said it Crowley, right?
He might have said Crowley. I don't know.
I don't remember. Like, it's ringing a bell.
Right.
It's ringing a bell because, like, I'm just like, that's Crowley.
I never say it right because I'm like, is it Crowley like in Supernatural, or is it Crowley?
I say Crowley.
Anyway.
But
he said that, and I was like, wait a minute. So I'm like, Google, is this who he means? Because it never gets any more there's no more context to it than that. And I'm like, is this who he's talking about?
It was probably just like a nod to, like, that's an occult figure that we're recognizing is an occult figure. Because I think there was a lot of that in that show.
I have started picking up little things here and there in my rewatch, which I've not made it very far in. I think at this point, we're at the point where the 2 other weird sisters, Dorcas. Yeah. Not the head one, not Prudence, but the other one.
Yeah.
They tried to kill the boyfriend and his brother, and then ended up killing his brother in the mine.
I really need to rewatch the show.
Well, that's the point I'm at. So I'm not very far in. Like, I'm still season 1, I'm pretty sure. Hold on, I can actually tell you.
I think that's definitely season 1.
But I'm picking up little things here and there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm season 1, episode 9. Picking up little things here and there that I'm like, I didn't notice that the first time, but then also the first time that I watched this, we weren't doing this, and I hadn't done half the research on things that I've done now. But also, TJ was trying to find things to watch. I might have already told you this. TJ was trying to find things to watch on the plane, things that he could download on Netflix. And he's like, what about Orange is the New Black? And I'm like, yeah, that should be fine. Forgot totally that within the first 10 minutes of the first episode of the first season, you see 10 sets of titties. Yeah. And so he's sitting very first seat on the plane. And he's like, well, can't watch this. And I'm like, my bad.
Oopsies. That's funny. That's as bad as being like, I'm going to watch Game of Thrones.
That's a thing that I want to rewatch again.
Yeah. That's because I was telling you about book club earlier, and I'm only 70% of the way through this book. And, like, all of us were like, we're seeing, and it's not like it was subtly like, oh, they must have drawn him for inspiration from Game of Thrones or Harry Potter or what was the other thing, like Fourth Wing or even the ACOTAR series. It's not like it was like, oh, that's a subtle nod to that. It was like, this is glaringly copy and pasted from these stories. And it's like, we're reading Direbound. So, like, if you are, well, they did, I'm still reading it. But, like, if you like a romantasy, a dark romantasy, I think is what it's classified as, like, it's pretty good. There are definitely things that, like, I personally was like, Like, there's common rooms. There's 4 different, like houses of the dire-bound, the bonded, you know, whatever. And it's so glaringly, and they're like sorted, and it's just, it's like, come on now.
Right.
And it's like Game of Thrones, but wolves. So it's like, I was like, it wouldn't be so bad. Because, like, I mean, there's all kinds of books you read and you're like, oh, well, that's like a subtle nod to, like, you know where it came from, but it's not like the personality of the book. I was like, there's like 4 different series that are glaringly obvious, like, copies.
Right.
Like, that's where they drew
it's the
from.
same storyline, different characters.
Exactly.
Lord.
But anyway.
I think that's all I got, honestly.
Okay.
I feel like there was so much more.
Well, I have, I'll tell the retreat last, because, like, that's a lot. But I found a couple books at the Goodwill. The first one I'm going to show you.
Okay.
Is,
keep in mind that this is the first time. Oh my god.
I didn't know he had a book, and then I was like, I can't not buy that. It's Leslie Jordan. It's How Y'all Doing? Misadventures and Mischief from a Life Well Lived.
I love him.
So I got that, and I wanted to show you that. But, okay, so...
Keep in mind that she's not told me any of this.
I don't know. I've been hiding this.
Yeah.
I've specifically made sure to not tell you about this book I found. Because as soon as I saw it, I was like, there ain't no way this is at the Goodwill. It was. And I bought it.
Let's unpack that for a minute. I'm so glad you got that from the Goodwill and you did not.
No. I would never.
Your fucking money.
No. I would never. It's about on par with, like, Harry Potter. I would never give this motherfucker any money. So it's Zach Bagans' Dark World, Into the Shadows with the lead investigator of the Ghost Adventures crew.
I'm so done.
It does have the ghostwriter's name on the bottom of it. Kelly Krieger.
Okay,
that's
so
almost a problematic last
name. I want to see it.
But I was like, I low-key want to read this, and I was like, $2.99, snatched it up. And I was like, that's going to be hilarious. And then what was even more hilarious was, like, the next day is when everybody started talking about he cheating on Holly Madison. And I'm just like, first of all, I mean, say what you will about Holly Madison. Like, yes, she's had work done. It's obvious. She's never hid it. Yes, she lived at the Playboy Mansion. Yes, all this shit. To me, she's gorgeous.
But also, who fucking cares?
Who like looks at Zach Bagans and be like, yeah, that's a man I want to fuck.
Not
apparently a lot of women, as Holly discovered.
So, if I was gonna go for any of them,
I would probably be more apt to. Who's the one that he's always yelling at?
Aaron.
Yes.
Did I send you, or did you send me the one where Aaron had candy and he was yelling at him?
I sent it to you because I was like, I read my what I sent, like my message I sent with it to Daniel.
I'm getting the Jolly Rancher out. Would you like one?
I'm okay. Thank you, though. But I said, this cannot be the same man that cheated on Holly Madison and bullied all the other ghost shows off TV. Because that's also been coming out, like, with all of this shit going on.
We already knew about that.
We did know about that. Yeah, we did know about that. And I was like, we been knew. I didn't realize it was, like, all the ghost shows got canceled.
Yeah.
And like, and I saw like an interview with Jason Hawes from Ghost Hunters recently, and he was spilling the tea. He was like, I've got nothing left to lose. He's like, I'm still working at Roto-Rooter. And he was like, basically, I don't think he named him. He may have named him, but he was like, basically, like, there is somebody who will go to networks and be like, I refuse to work with you if you work with these other ghost shows. And he said that, like, Amy Bruni, she used to be part of Ghost Hunters, and now she's got her own show. And I guess she, like, tweeted something that was, like, vaguely about the situation. And Jason was literally like, she still has her show. She needs to worry about that. because she has her show for now. He was like, I'm not going to say Ghost Hunters got canceled because of somebody, but Ghost Hunters got canceled because of somebody. And he was like, because we were offered to work on the same network and somebody threw a temper tantrum about it. And like, we've already discussed this, but it's like now all the other like supernatural shows, like ghosts, like paranormal shows are coming out and they're like, hey, yeah, he sucks. And the ego is like out the fucking ceiling.
My favorite thing is apparently he's taking these women to his haunted museum.
Yeah.
And seeing if the spirits like her.
You should really like see, and Holly Madison is not holding back. She is like posting shit about it. And she's like, if anybody has like proof of this, send it to me. And also, did you know she never introduced her children to him? They were together for a long time. And she was like, unless we're engaged, you do not get to meet my children.
Good for her.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, good for her. I love that. Like, say what you will about Holly Madison, but good for her for that.
Right. I'm just here to let you know this fruit punch Jolly Rancher is the shit.
Is it? Maybe I'll have one later. But yeah. So all that, and then I was like, I saw that. I was like, I can't not buy that. I was like, it's at the Goodwill. I was like, if all the Zach Bagans books show up, there was we lost a spooky baddie because there were like mysteries like this. The week that I bought this, I had a stack of books. I was like, we lost a spooky baddie. Either she turned to religion or she died. I was like, because there were a lot of similar like books like that. There was like a lot of like haunted Nashville books. Some of them I already had, so I didn't buy them, but I was like, y'all best not donate my books to the Goodwill. Make money off of them. Take them to McKay's. But like,
put that in your will.
I think I've got like in my little like life planner or whatever, all of them get donated to like the public library. But anyway,
you just told us to make money on them.
I know, but you know,
Maddie wants all your spooky romance stuff.
All my spooky romance stuff. Don't let her read that book up there.
Which
The
one?
Kiss of the Basilisk.
Okay.
Not yet, anyway. Because like that was a book club pick. I haven't read it yet, but I did buy the physical copy. And one of the girls was like, "I get it. It's a dark romance. It's snake smut." She was like, but there was a point in the book where I was like, get off of her. Yeah. Apparently it was a lot. But anyway, so there's that. Was there anything else? Oh, there was another story I wanted to talk about. So where we live, there are like several middle schools, right? So in the town where I work, you know that middle school, right? Okay. So it's yearbook season, okay? Well, one of our customers who have become friends with, she comes in because I bought her something on our trip. And she comes in to get it, and she's like, let me tell you about what happened. So I guess the middle school did like an art competition, and like students submitted art, and it had the potential to be the cover for the yearbook that year. So she said her son, I think he's in 8th grade now. I think he'll be going into high school next year, I think is what she said. So he submits a piece of art, never hears anything else about it. Gets his yearbook and brings it home, and she goes, did they put everybody's names on the yearbook? And he goes, let me tell you something. My name is on the front of every book, every single yearbook. Every student who purchased a yearbook this year at that school, his name is on the front of it.
All right.
So, because they picked his art. He didn't even know they picked his art.
Oh.
And they submitted it, and whenever students submitted their art, they put their names on them. And we're like, that went through so many edits. I was like, yeah, that's cool.
Right.
But then she goes, he had a student come up to him and go, can you sign my yearbook? And he was like, yeah. And he signs his yearbook. And then he goes, can you autograph the cover?
Aww.
And I almost said his name. And he looks at him and he goes, are you sure? And he was like, yeah. And of course his mom is like, you please tell me you didn't use Sharpie. And he goes, I asked him 3 times if he was sure. And she's just sitting there like, oh my God. And she was like, please tell me you did not sign this kid's yearbook, the front of his yearbook, with a Sharpie. And he goes, I signed his yearbook. The front of it with a Sharpie. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, that is so funny.
You're not going to be able to tell that kid shit for a while.
And I was like, that.
I hope you took that kid for ice cream.
Oh, I think
he deserves it.
I'm sure they did.
He deserves it.
But like,
he needed a steak dinner and some ice cream.
It cracked me. I was dying. I was like, that is too funny. Let me see if I had any other talking points. Oh, we did talk about, and I've been looking at places for like, if we did like an overnight somewhere and like we could record our episodes at like a haunted place. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I've got a list going. And like one of them, I don't know where my list went.
She doesn't realize, but if we go somewhere to stay overnight, she's getting spooned.
Well, there's a like place that's my top pick. It's in McMinnville, I think. It's 2 hours away from here. It's the furthest away spot. Because like I would wanted to do like Union Station Hotel, but I'll have to like figure out a different situation for that because that is like $450 a night.
That reminds me, while I'm in Denver, he said that we can go to the Shining Hotel.
Ooh, but it's a Marriott hotel, so I know somebody. We can probably get it a lot cheaper than $450 a night, which is like a non-member price.
Right.
Because I was like, I really want to stay at Union Station Hotel, but I don't want to. It's not worth it for that much for one night. So we'll figure that out. But this other place is like actually pretty reasonable. It's like, it depends on which room you get or which like bit, because it's like a bed and breakfast, so it's like a smaller place, but they have like a cottage that you can rent, and it's like $260 for the whole cottage. And then there's like there is a room that has 2 beds, and then there's like other rooms that have just a queen bed in them. But I think like the rooms that are gonna have the most like activity are the ones that like have like separate beds and stuff. From what I read.
She doesn't realize, but okay, let's be real. I'm the little spoon. I'm not a good big spoon. But if I get scared in the middle of the night...
it's in a Victorian mansion.
If I get scared in the middle of the night, I'll
have to find my list and send it to the email.
Bring a body pillow so you can put a clear wall between us. But I'm getting in bed with you.
But like, so I had that on my like talking points list because I got really excited looking at that.
Okay, so that conversation stemmed from me saying, kind of, because we had a discussion.
Yeah.
I'm just putting this out here.
Yeah.
If Shane Dawson and his whole crew, all of them, and we're going to include Vicky, and I'll even take the sister, what's her name? Why can't I ever
remember? Morgan. I love Morgan.
Yeah, I'll even take Morgan. But if they would like to get together and do an episode with us,
like a spooky episode,
I don't
think he does much of that anymore.
He really doesn't.
Does like the ghost hunting stuff.
He really doesn't, because he had like a demon issue.
Yeah, he's afraid he's going to bring something home, especially now that they have like
kids.
2 little
kids.
Which
I do, and we have ways to protect from that.
Yeah,
but like we don't even have to do spooky.
No.
I just want to get together with Shane and the crew and see what happens.
Yeah,
because I'm a huge fan, first of all.
Yeah.
And I think it would
also
be so fucking
not
cool.
Shane Dawson being in the documentary we watched. Did you like his name was at the tail end of it?
I do
about
remember.
it. Yeah.
I do.
It was about the YouTube monetization.
I do remember. Because the whole time they were talking about that, my thought process was...
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's happened to XYZ creators I used to watch.
Speaking of, on Netflix, guess what's still on Netflix on the kids' account?
Oh, Haters Back Off?
Yeah.
That's not a kid's show.
I tell my children every time we see it, you are not to watch it.
Yeah, that's not I don't
still
think that's
under
a kid's show. Like, yeah, that's definitely... I would not consider that a kid's show. I don't think she would consider that a kid's show.
No.
Like, she's made... Like, I think, for me personally, I think a lot of the jokes that, like, especially in her live shows, a lot of them are, like, vague enough that, like, they go over the kids' heads.
Oh, maybe it's because they're not specifically a kid's account.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. I'm going to go onto a kid's account and see.
Yeah, because I do not think, not with the creepy uncle.
You can absolutely get it on a kid's account.
I don't think that should be.
You can absolutely.
I don't think it should be a kid's show. And I watched that show, and I liked that show.
I'd put restrictions on, like, Gemma's, that she can watch, like, things that aren't necessarily a kid's account type thing. Because there are some things that I'm like, I don't understand why she can't watch this on a kid. Like, I do, but I don't. Like, she wants to watch Wednesday. She can't watch that on a kid's account.
Yeah. I think Wednesday's okay.
There was something else that she was on, Stranger Things. And I'm like, stuff like that is okay. I feel like I'm cool with her watching. I probably do let my kids watch stuff that kids their age probably shouldn't.
But it's not like...
But they're not watching porn.
Exactly.
We're not watching stuff that has that stuff in it.
Yes. And also, too, they don't have the kind of, like, free range to the internet that, like, we had. Because, like, I mean, we had, like, there were, like, and I mean, they still exist, but, like, websites where you could, like, watch people get unalived.
Yeah.
And, like, people, Gemma, like, there were, our generation was, like, about Gemma's age watching that stuff.
Yeah.
So I think Wednesday and Stranger Things is fine.
Right.
In comparison to, like, some of the stuff that, like, our generation, because we had this unfettered access to this brand new information highway, basically. And people were taking advantage of there being no regulations at that time.
My kids are very...
Because, like, now that would be considered, like, dark web stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think that your children could find it.
No.
But, like, all we had to do was type in the website.
Right.
And that was it.
I mean, my kids are very, like, I monitor what they watch on YouTube.
I think that's good. I think that's good parenting.
I have specific
best
channels
practice
that they can go on.
Yeah.
They are not allowed to watch shorts. If I catch them watching shorts of any kind,
I get that.
I'm done.
I get that.
They're done.
Yeah.
Easton has a little bit more.
That like teaches them doom scrolling.
Yeah.
And I just, I think that not having that.
Well, and it's very easy.
It's like all of a sudden an hour has gone by.
Well, it's not even that. On YouTube, the shorts, it's very easy to go from, I started on Trinity and Madison, and I'm now over here watching something that I shouldn't be watching, and it quickly got here.
Yeah.
There was no, do you want to go to this next page? It was just, what's the next scroll?
What the algorithm outputs.
Easton watches way more things than Gemma does. Like, he's watching, like, he'll watch the kid-centered channels.
Mm-hmm.
And now knowing what I know, I've done a little bit of research on some of the families that I allowed them to watch.
Especially now that we've watched.
Yeah. So I'm more whatever. You're more aware of it. More aware of, all that.
And taking more of an active role in making sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like, he's also watching Dude Perfect. He's watching, just random car things.
Mm-hmm.
The kid's a gearhead.
Yeah.
If it's got a motor, he wants to watch it.
I'll have to ask Daniel if there's any that, like, because he watches a lot of car YouTube.
I do have to watch some of those because there are, like, the car girls.
Yeah.
Now,
Because, like, there's one he watches, Preza Mike. We went and, like, met up with this dude. And he seems so chill. And, like, I don't know if he even, like, really... He doesn't really even swear in his videos.
I don't care about it.
But, like, I mean, as far... Like, you're not going to, like, see somebody, like, flashing titties or anything.
Right. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, my son is aware of the female anatomy.
Yeah.
He is aware. There was, like... He was sitting in TJ's lap. TJ was scrolling through TikTok and wasn't paying attention. Like, he was scrolling through. There was a video that they watched. The next video was people line dancing.
Yeah.
And then he scrolled through that video because he was like, oh, it's line dancing. I don't want to watch it. He goes to the next one. Easton's like, wait. Go back. And TJ's like, why? Do you want to watch that? And he's like, yeah. And so TJ scrolls back and he's like, why do you want to watch these people dance? The girl had a low-cut shirt on, and her boobs were jiggling. And he said, because her boobies. And I'm like, oh, my God. But, however, there's been new development. I really was just the storehouse. It was really copy-paste. Because, like, my in-laws have found a bunch of video, like, home videos.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a video that TJ was behind the camera at, like, a car show or something.
Oh my God.
And
Trisha Paytas is at the Ryman tonight. I almost bought tickets to
that. But TJ's filming at this, I think it was a car show. I didn't see this one, but I was told about it. Mm-hmm. So he's videoing these girls and talking about how hot they are. He's like, they don't know I'm videoing them. And then talking about breasts and booties.
And that is fine.
And, like, all you hear is TJ's voice and see these girls. And Easton's like, who's talking? And they're like, that's your dad. But then, like, you see TJ in these videos. And it's literally copy and paste.
Yeah.
It is Easton. But it's funny because
Was it like a Hunter's Lane show or something? Whatever.
Hunter's Auto?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's also video of Daniel's older brother at one of those, and he, like, zooms in on girls.
But, like, I can see Easton and TJ, like, they do look a lot alike. I have always said...
I do see you in Easton, though.
When
he makes certain faces.
Well, yeah. But, like, his entire life, I've been like, he looks like TJ's brother. He looks like TJ's brother. But then seeing these videos and seeing some pictures of TJ when he was a kid... He looks like TJ. Mm-hmm. But then also TJ's cousin.
I would also be curious to see what your dad looked like as a child. Since you favor your dad.
I can hook you up with that.
Like, I would be curious to see if he favors your dad as a kid.
Not really.
At all.
I don't think. Well, maybe. Not really.
Because I know I've seen pictures of your mom when she was younger, but I don't know that I've ever... And if I did see them, I did not retain that information.
He looks, Easton also favors, and, like, I've seen, like, toddler pictures of this person as well, and I have said since then, he looks like Easton.
Yeah.
TJ's cousin, I don't want to drop names, the one that we graduated with, long hair.
Long
blonde hair. His grandmother just passed away.
Oh, yeah. I could
Always
see
wears
that.
a hat.
Yeah,
I
could see that.
Younger pictures of.
Yeah.
Spitting image. It's crazy.
I could see that, yeah.
But then also I got to see, like, pictures. Like,
his jeans are just...
Oh, those Anders jeans don't quit, baby.
Yeah.
They don't quit.
But, like, I would be curious to see if he favors your dad at all, like, when he was younger. Because, like, every once in a while, he'll make a face, and I'll be like, God, you look just like your mama. But, like, even, like, Gemma, copy and paste.
So...
Because, like, what... One of y'all posted... pictures or video recently of her. I think it was her awards, maybe, and I was watching the video and I was like, oh my God, she looks exactly like him.
Yeah, she does.
Even when she smiles.
We've heard from day one that she favors his sister.
Yeah.
And seeing videos of her, like I've seen pictures of her.
Right.
But
it's
like
different.
seeing,
Video is different. Yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it as much as what everyone is saying.
Yeah.
I think because I see more TJ than anything.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't physically there.
Yeah.
I didn't know her.
Right.
You know, I just
you
know,
don't have, like, you can see pictures and gauge what her personality was, and you can see video and see, gauge what her personality was, but it's totally different from knowing her.
I'm not gonna lie though. If reincarnation is a thing,
yeah,
I do think that she waited and she came back as my child.
Yeah.
I do think, like, some of the stories that I've heard, the attitude is spot on.
Yeah.
She's very sneaky. She tried to pull one over on me the other day, and I was like, "You've never been more sneaky in your life." And I was like, "I caught you on this one."
I love that.
But I could see it.
I'm gonna have to pause to pee
Okay.
before I talk about the retreat. So, un momento. This will be like 2 seconds to you. Okay, we're back. All right.
We've been going for like 2 hours.
It's about an hour 21 minutes right now, and I have a long story to tell.
Let's
with
go for
many
it.
with a multifaceted presentation. So first, I'll start with my mini Yeti you mentioned earlier. So, Pixie wanted to get all of the retreat members cups, right? As like our little gift from her. And she orders these cups, and she was like, I have to tell y'all. And sends a picture of one of these cups in her hand and was like, what the fuck is this?
She had to know that she was like, something was amiss because they were cheap.
Well, she said she paid quite a bit for them. So she ordered them off of Etsy and gets them, and she's like, what is this? What is this? Is this like a Yeti mug for babies? What is this?
It's for a shot.
Yeah, it's for a shot. But she was like, I'm gonna file a complaint. She goes to the Etsy store to wage a complaint, and it's gone. It's gone. We meant to take a photo of all of us holding our little cups, but it didn't work out. Once everybody like got there and everything started going, it just didn't work out. But yeah, so I have this like tiny green, and I was like, I'm gonna put that on my shelf, and it says British Knitter on it, and I love it regardless. It's the thought, and it's a funny story. So, but anyway, so we went to the Pixie retreat, and let me like pull up my pictures so I can like have the timeline solid. So like leading up to, I was feeling kind of nervous. Like, I think we talked about this last time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'm just afraid that I'm going to get there and it's going to be like, either somebody is going to be annoying, or I'm going to end up just not liking anybody. Like, maybe they're not how they are in the Discord. And I was just like afraid that people wouldn't like me. And it was, it's the thing. Because even though I've been talking to these people for like a year and a half, it's like, at the end of the day, I don't know them. Well, we go pick up Court from the airport the day before. She spends the night with us. It's like as soon as we got her, and it was like, okay, this experience is actively happening, I was not anxious at all. I did take a quarter of a gummy before we left for the airport, just to kind of take the edge off, and I think that helped.
Yeah.
But, like, it's like as soon as we picked her up, got home, I was giving her the grand tour of my house that was actively falling apart. And we drove down Broadway, showed her Broadway. We drove through Centennial Park.
Which can be scary at night.
Yeah. We just drove through, though. Like, we didn't stop and get out.
Remember all
we
those
just drove.
times that we would go out there in the middle of the night to play Pokemon?
Yeah, and then there were other nerds there playing Pokemon.
How
so
are we
it felt
alive?
it felt a little safer because there were other nerds around. Plus we never really it's not like we were walking around or anything. But so the next morning we get up, we go we did take her to Sonic for the first time.
The Sonics here are shit.
Yeah, they were not good. The food taste, she was like, it tastes good. She was like, why is this chicken strip nugget sized?
Right.
And all of mine were too. But it was fine. Not the end of the world. I was like, I just hate that, like, your first Sonic experience was like not that good. But we made a redemption because we went to Waffle House the next morning for breakfast, and she had never been to a Waffle House before.
That's a sad life.
And
listen, you're not living unless you've been to Waffle House in the middle of the night, drunk off your ass.
Yeah. So we do that, and then we get on the road. We head out. Oh, I don't know if I even told you that this happened. So that morning we get up, right? So that night, Willow had been out, interacting, been fine. At some point in the middle of the night, Willow gets scared to death that there is another human being in this house. And, like, I woke up and she wasn't sleeping next to me like she usually is. And I was like, she got scared. Well, the next morning, like, we're packing up and we're, like, ready to leave. And I was like, has anybody seen Willow? And everybody was like, no, I have not laid eyes uponeth her. Well, I'm trying everything. We look everywhere. Like, I had pulled stuff out from under the guest bed to see if she maybe was under there. Like, looked under our bed, not there. Open the recliner, look under there, the couch, everywhere. We searched. I got up on a step stool and looked behind the washing machine to make sure she wasn't back there. Nowhere. I'm, like, freaking out thinking this cat done got out while he was, like, loading stuff up into the car.
Right.
And I was like, surely she wouldn't. I was like, she wouldn't have, like, run off. She'd be too scared. And I was like, unless George run her off. And then, but finally I, like, faked everybody out, kind of. I ended up having to give them some, but I got wet food out, like a fresh can of wet food, cracked it open. And while she did not come out, I did see her, like, run under the bed and hide. I was like, I don't know where she was, but all I needed was eyes on her. That was it. I knew she was in the house. So, that was, like, a 30-minute search, 45-minute search for this cat.
I meant to ask
and I'm, like, progressively freaking out more and more.
Oh, I'm sure.
And, but it all goes fine. We go to Waffle House, have breakfast, get on the road.
Hold on, pause.
Yes.
I meant to ask you and I forgot.
Uh-huh.
Was Court aware that your house is haunted?
No.
Okay.
I don't think I mentioned it, but, like, she did see, like, all of the weird stuff. She was like, I wish I could decorate my house like this, because I was like, I showed her the bedroom and the massive gallery wall I have. I was like, I love a gallery wall because I love stuff. I like looking at it. It's not for everybody. I was like, I did get overwhelmed with having, like, a bunch of stuff around in the bedroom. I was like, so I kind of, like, shifted some things around and, like, now I have, like, a couple of bigger pieces, like, on the walls, but, like, the outside walls, but, like, the accent wall that's painted green is a massive gallery wall. That's where I put everything. I love it. And it's, like, always changing because I'm, like, seeing frames I like more than I have some up there, and, like, there's it evolves. It shifts. That's how I decorate. And she was like, I love this. She was like, if I didn't have kids... She was like, this is it's a cozy vibe. I was like, that's exactly what I'm going for. So, if you feel cozy, that achieved.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, I did not tell her, that there were ghosties in here. And she slept, like, down in this hallway.
Yeah.
I don't know that she didn't tell me if, like, anything bugged her or bothered her or anything.
Does she listen?
Maybe she might. But if you are listening, let me know if you did hear anything. It hasn't been super active. I think whatever is here is either just like quiet right now and satiated, and I just light incense all the time. So I think that plays a factor into it too. Probably. But yeah, so we leave. We head to Pigeon Forge. Stopped at Buc-ee's. Her first time ever at Buc-ee's.
I'm so excited.
And it wasn't super busy because we went to the Crossville one. We didn't go to the one in Sevierville. So it wasn't packed, but it was like, and we had already had breakfast, so we didn't eat there either.
Did she go in the bathroom?
Yes, that was the primary. Yeah,
without a bathroom.
That was the primary reason for stopping, is because like I had to pee, she had to pee. I'm pretty sure Daniel had to poop. We had to stop somewhere because the Waffle House hit my belly. Because I was like, I can make it to Buc-ee's, and then about 10 minutes later, I was like, I cannot make it to Buc-ee's. It's like, unfortunately.
Did you fart in front of her?
No.
Okay.
No.
Would you tell me if you did?
Probably. But no.
And I'd be offended.
I did
hell.
So we get there, and it's funny because GPS, we went a back way, like into, like we got off the interstate, and then we went in the back way that comes out by that diner on the Parkway. And like,
the diner's really good.
We're coming through, and then we enter on the Parkway, and she goes, "Oh my God." She was like, it was like a neighborhood, and then all of a sudden it's Pigeon Forge.
Yeah, you got Godzilla.
Yeah.
You got
there's everything. You got the Titanic. You got Wonderworks, that upside down building. You've got, a lot of things to look at.
Midget wrestling.
And like where we stayed was up by like Dollywood. Yeah. So we went down the Parkway.
Yeah.
We stopped at a bathroom. It was the Marathon. Don't stop at the Marathon on Parkway. If you're in Pigeon Forge, don't stop there. Keep going somewhere else to pee.
Also, that gas station, the last gas station between Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge, that's like if you're going out of Gatlinburg toward Pigeon Forge, there's the tiny little gas station.
Yeah.
Right before you leave Gatlinburg.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the last one.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's a far drive from Gatlinburg to Pigeon Forge, but if you gotta go, you gotta go.
And also too, if there's traffic.
Yeah.
Like it'll take you a while to get through.
I had rather shit my pants than stop in that bathroom.
Me with the Marathon. Like we both had to come back to the car and have a mint because like the air in that bathroom was stagnant, and it was just, it was terrible. Oh, it was awful. It was awful. Anyway, I digress. So we get there, and it was exactly like what I kind of told you how it would probably go, is like it was like so fast paced that I didn't have time to think about being anxious.
Right.
So like we get there, and now there were issues with the cabin. Daniel was fixing the cabin all weekend. Some of the other husbands and boyfriends were also helping out. It was a thing, but like Daniel was the only guy that stayed at the house, and which he kept, like, he pretty much, like, if we were upstairs doing anything, he was downstairs in the theater watching YouTube or in our room, or unless we needed him for something. And so he, like, we get there, and first thing we walk in the door, and Court goes, "Don't put anything on that counter. It's disgusting. Let me clean it." And so we get that. We start getting everything set up. It's like a mad dash. And it's just like us three, another couple, and one of the other committee members at this point. And we're just like trying to just get decorations, because we decorated each room. And then we had like goodie bags that we were getting set up. So like we kind of worked as a team to get the goodie bags set up once all the rooms were decorated. Daniel had a stripper pole to put together. And I was like, it's not coming home with us. And it did not come home with us. It is at home in, I believe, Chicago. I don't know that she's even put it up yet. But so we get decorated. We finally are like, hey, hi, how nice to meet you. And it's like we were each kind of like looking around like, oh my God, these are human beings. Like, right. These are
actual people that I've been talking to.
The plans have left the group chat. Like, the plans are, they have officially left the group chat and these are IRL human beings. And so I'm kind of like stunned to like see and it's like, and it wasn't weird, even like meeting Pixie, like it wasn't weird. It just felt like, okay, these are people that I talk to all the time.
You're just putting a face to the...
Exactly. And like a personality and mannerisms and like all that kind of stuff, which I thought was very, very cool. And the only thing that sucked was that like by the time everybody else got there, because that house, the heat was on when we got there.
What?
Yes. And we could not figure out how to turn it off.
It's May.
Exactly. And like by the time we were like welcoming people in, we're drenched in sweat. And like we were disgusting. And now everybody else was like very nice about it. And they're like, we didn't even notice. We did not even notice. Because Pixie was like, she's very like OCD in like, she said like cleanliness. She'll shower multiple times a day. She's like, so like meeting my fans, quote unquote, and being a sweaty, gross kind of mess, she was like, I was very like, about it. So I think like moving forward, we'll like take that into consideration.
Yeah.
But she was like, but nobody said anything. It didn't bother anybody. She was like, if I was sweaty, nobody said anything.
Right.
So, but we did that, and then we did, everybody came in and got their goodie bags, which we did a bag. We provided one shirt, and then the committee paid for, the other shirt and the bag. And then I had those all pre-labeled and pre-stuffed when we got there, which took a lot of I can't imagine trying to do that in that chaos that we were dealing with. And so we had that, got all that set up. We were working together to get these bag stuff. We had a book in there, some like sleepover stuff, like headbands. Pixie had other cups that she had made for everybody. And then people get there, we're welcoming them in, which is funny too, because Danny, who was head of security, did not get to do any security. He did not do any of the check-in stuff that he was like so excited for, because he was off doing the grocery pickup. Did I send you a picture of the grocery pickup? No. Like what that looked like? Hold on. This was the grocery, the Walmart order. I think he had to lay the seat down.
Oh.
That's what, like, $1,200 worth of Walmart. And they didn't have any paper plates for us or anything. And, like, here's the bags all set up on the island. Him and his little safety vest.
What was his check-in stuff?
Well, he was supposed to help, like, check IDs and just to make sure that, like, nobody had weapons, stuff like that. Like, here's his security teammates.
Yeah, you sent me that one.
And so we get in. He got to do the second group that arrived, because there were the Arizona girls that were coming in a little bit later. So he got to help with that. But by then we realized that, like, the metal detecting wand that he brought was just going to pick up, like, all of the hardware on the suitcases anyway. Right. But we just wanted to check IDs, make sure everybody was who they said they were.
Right.
And got all that settled, got everybody in their rooms. I never left the main floor. because the only way to get upstairs or downstairs was a spiral staircase. And as much as I love the vibe and the look of a spiral staircase, I don't fucks with a spiral staircase. I will fall.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid of heights. And being able to see like all the way down or all the way up, I don't like that.
Right.
I don't like that. Plus, I heard this staircase. It was quite, and I saw it when people were on it, and I was like, no. No. So I was very glad that our room was on the main floor. I never left the main floor. I was like, I have absolutely no idea what any of those other rooms look like, except for pictures and videos. That's it. But like, we decorated the rooms all in like themes of her Sim series. So there was like the Bachelorette, there was the Shrekiverse, which had like a 6-foot tall cutout of Shrek in it, which ended up getting moved around the house throughout the whole weekend and scaring the absolute shit out of everybody. We did our trivia that night. I made, I put together like 4 gift boxes, like themed gift boxes, and we ended up using those as prizes. So we did 1 for the trivia, and then the other 3 went to the top 3, for the costume contest for the party we had Friday night. So Friday, everybody gets up. We also exchanged gifts. I got a crown. Everybody got a crown.
It's cute.
It is very cute. It's quite tight, but it's very cute. Got a crown. One of the girls, I'm not going to say her name on here just because she's got a social media presence and she does like crafts and stuff, but like, she's got a history and I don't want to like put her name out there. But anyway, like she made a whole bunch of stuff. Like I've got Shrek ears. She made little plumb bob, like Sims plumb bob. She's calling them Patrick somethings. I don't know, because she doesn't want to use the term and get in trouble. She made like bags of stuff, and I've got like a skirt she made, and she makes these really cool skirts that are like they're truly one size fits all, because like she's got some that they've got a rope in them basically, and you can cinch them tighter for whatever size.
Right.
So like a 5 or a 6X will fit a large as well. So she makes them for a variety of sizes, and she's a wizard with her sewing machine, but that's a whole other story. So she like gives out her stuff, and then we all end up just doing our gift exchanges. They're barbecue sauce. It's pretty good. Daniel doesn't like it because it's vinegary. But I like it. So I'm gonna eat his bottle. And then bookmarks. A bunch of people made bookmarks. I've got like a little over there.
Yeah, I saw that.
It says Brit's bookmarks. Like somebody 3D printed that.
Cute.
What else? Oh, there's like little pieces like paintings. Somebody brought like what do you call it? Like self-care kits, like face mask, and it's like you mix them. So it's the powder, and then you mix it with the bowl and the spatula and the whole 9 yards. It was very, very cute. And then somebody brought somebody made keychains. There were necklaces. A whole bunch of, I embroidered like little makeup bags for everybody with their names on them. And then put like stickers and like a little note in there. Some people I put a couple little extra things in, cause like Emily, I stitched her a few weeks prior to the retreat. She was talking about this towel she got like for Christmas, and it was embroidered, and she was like, it drives me insane that I cannot fold this towel. And I was like, I gotta see this towel. I was like, I gotta see this embroidery. Send me a picture of it. So she sent me a picture of it. I was like, oh my God, it looks bulletproof. It was thick embroidery. So I was like, I gotta get this girl a towel she can fold. So I like embroidered Auntie Emily's twisted recipes on it, and she didn't realize that it had anything embroidered on it until like the Saturday, and I was gone because we went thrifting Saturday for like an hour or two. And she messaged me. She goes, "Oh my God, I'm crying." And then another girl I embroidered like a little bandana for with her favorite song and song lyrics on it because we connected because we both like Zach Bryan. And then our Canadian friend Jordan, I bought her a little Tennessee necklace.
Did she make it back into the country?
She did. They let her back into. They let her into America, and they let her back out of America. And then and she made like I'll have to find it. But she makes stickers. I gave you that sticker. You want to see my wiener?
Yeah, that's been a big hit.
That she brought like. She made a special like Pixie Retreat sticker for the event. Cute. And then she also gave us, because she drew the tattoo flash, or some of the tattoo flash. The artist that we had there was the one girl's, the one that makes the skirts. Her husband was a tattoo artist. And I got a little teapot. That was Friday. We did that Friday as well. There were tattoos. There were several girls who it was their first tattoos.
Nice.
There was several. There was one that was like kind of on the fence about it, and there were a couple that were like, I don't have any. I'm okay. So they brought temporary tattoos for them, and I thought that was very sweet.
Did you like when you texted me about which tattoo should you get? Did you like my reasoning behind the one I picked?
So mine is a teapot, and it's got a little butterfly on it, and like because Pixie, the whole vibe was like butterflies. She's got like a little cottagecore series with Sims, and so it was like that themed around that. And like I was going back and forth. I still might get, because she's got it where you can like download the permission form to use her art for tattoos. So I might still get the little swamp stamp because I really, really liked that one. But the artist had it drawn up so big that I didn't know if I wanted it that big.
Yeah.
So I'll probably still end up getting that one. But I got the teapot. It's very, very cute. If you follow me on Instagram, I put it in my post, I think.
See, but like, so it goes in with Pixie's thing. Now keep in mind, I don't know shit about fuck when it comes to any of that, because that's not, I have purposely not tried to put myself into this group because this is Brittany's thing. And we have so much together already that I'm like, do I think that I would enjoy the company of these people? Probably. Oh, but this is her shit.
Yeah.
And that's okay. So she sends me these pictures and she's like, which of these should I get? And I'm like, bro, I like the teapot.
Yeah.
Because A, you be getting tea in this group.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And B, it's got a butterfly, which, if you know anything about anything with Dolly Parton,
Sevierville, Pigeon Forge,
she loves the butterflies. So I'm like, it kind of reminds you of, your trip to Pigeon Forge.
Yeah.
Being, connected with Dolly and all of this.
It's got it's a multifaceted meaning tattoo, which I do like that.
It's perfect.
So Friday, tattoos. We did a book exchange. I got a few books. I brought a lot of books, but I think I took like 6 or 7 home. But I definitely brought more than that. And we had a lot left over that I think, were donated to like a little library. And then we got ready for the Doris dinner party, which was a dress up party. We had like a pasta dinner. We dressed up like different characters that Pixie has created in The Sims. And so we had like, I wasn't even a character. She posted like 2 weeks prior to the retreat. If anybody has any ideas on what people can dress up as, because some people don't know what they're dressing up as yet. And like, opened it to the rest of the Discord, and somebody was like, I think a fart pond would be hilarious. So I was a fart pond. I went on to Amazon. I got me a skirt, which I took notes at the retreat because people were like, don't pay attention when it says it's a frequently returned item, because usually that's probably me because I bought it, needed it once, and sent it back. And then I get home and I was like, I don't need this skirt. I'm not going to use this again. I actually low-key hate this skirt, but it worked for what I needed it to. And, like, I had already a long time ago, thrifted the top I was wearing. I braided my hair. I bought an aquarium plant and cut the leaves off of it and clipped it into my hair with these little, like, cutie little flower clips. And I was a fart pond. And, we had Lord Farquaad's, we had a Mohawk doctor, which if you have to, like, a lot of these characters, you have to know the lore to know, like, why a Mohawk doctor exists. But
some of these outfits were crazy. I did see a TikTok that was like, who's going to get the drunkest tonight?
Yeah.
And it was interesting.
It was.
Did anybody nail it?
Yes.
Okay.
And I'll tell you who got the drunkest. I'll like scroll to it and I'll tell you who it was.
Well, I realized
she
that not
even
all...
said in the video. Yeah, not everybody was in the video.
No. I'm saying not all of the tea.
Yeah, can
be spilled here.
Yeah, I'm not spilling all of the tea because it was some things are like a what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas situation. So, and I will just leave that at that. But there was like one girl who dressed up as one of the characters, gave the whole house bi panic. Everybody else was like, I'm straight, I think.
See, okay, you sent me a picture of this girl. Now, yes, gorgeous. She's beautiful.
Stunning.
And honestly, in person, I probably would have been the same.
I was like,
Pixie, on the other hand, I would have been, would not have been able to speak.
She is so pretty.
I would have been like, I would have gone dumb.
And I told Daniel, I was like, you need to take whispering lessons from her. He's like, what do you mean? I was like, you stage whisper? I was like, she whispers. I was like, I could barely hear her. She's like spilling some tea to me. And I'm like, ooh, girl. And I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. I can't hear you. But I eventually got the tea.
Right.
But yeah, I was like, you need to learn how to whisper from her because she knows how to whisper. But yeah, no, Pixie is very, very, very pretty. And she is so tiny and, like, compact. And I was like, she is, like, a lot. I knew she was short. I knew she was, like, 5 foot or under. But I didn't realize, like, how much shorter. Because I'm only 5'3". I'm not tall. I'm very close to the ground. But, like, even, like, I've got the picture of us up there in that little frame. Like, look at how much taller I am than her.
Yeah.
And even Amanda in the other picture.
Yeah. You do look very tall.
I do look tall. I'm only 5'3", and I had, like, boots
Amanda's
on.
Smaller than her.
Yeah, I think Amanda is a little bit short. Also, the photos were taken from different angles. So, like, Amanda's Pixie took that photo, and then Amanda took the photo of me and Pixie. But, like, I was not prepared for, like, how little they are. But we had a good time. The party for me, it got a little rowdy. Just because I'm not a drinker. And like at one point, like there was a liquor store run and Pixie was like, buy liquor for the whole house. Here's part of, cause we had a lot of money left over. So like we ended up catering Chick-fil-A and did a liquor store run for everybody. And, so I was like, it's getting a bit out there for me. So I'm just going to go in our room and chill, which even for our room being like right in the living room, basically, it was loud because we brought one of Daniel's speakers. When Pixie saw the speaker, she goes, is this the speaker? And I was like, trust the process.
Is it that round one?
It's that round one.
Okay.
I was like, trust the process. And it was bumping all night. And, like, there was karaoke. We did karaoke. I did not participate. I was a spectator. But it was fun. And then it started to get a little rowdy. So I went and took a shower and went and laid in the bed. And then the next day, we woke up. The committee's having a meeting in the sunroom. Okay? We're in there talking, and the whole room starts to shake. And me and Amanda look at each other like, what was that? And I was like, it had to have been the AC units, because like we could see out to the porch, and there's a bunch of people out on the porch having their coffee, and none of them seem to have reacted to this vibration. It appears that nobody else is aware that this has happened. So I was like, the air units are like right below us. I was like, that's got to be it. And like they had just kicked on. So we finish up what we were talking about, and then we go out, and everybody's talking about the earthquake. They were like, did you feel that 4.1? Me and Amanda are just like, not us gaslighting ourselves into believing that was the air conditioner. And what was even crazier is, like, I found out later that, like, in the group that were on the porch, some of them felt it and some of them didn't. Oh. Yeah. One girl was asleep. It woke her up.
Yeah. That was the girl on the podcast.
That was another. Yeah. There were two of them that happened to. And there were a couple that live in California, and they knew what was up. They were like, hold on.
Right.
But they were like, this one wasn't that bad. They were like, this isn't that bad. But they knew immediately what was going on. And I'm just like, somebody goes, God couldn't handle that we were all together. But yeah, so that happened. And then we did our brunch, the barrel brunch. That's the like cottage core. That was when I had I had like a little leatherette thing, and I put my lemon dress on. I had a totally different dress picked out and packed. And then I bought a new strapless bra, and I was like, I'm wearing that because I like that outfit a lot better. The other one was giving Shrek, and I was like, that's not what this dinner is about. So did that. Everything went well. It was very cutesy. We gave out the prizes for the people who won the costume contest, which first place was the one who dressed up as the eggplant. And then second place was Mohawk Doctor. And then third place was Camping Shrek, which Camping Shrek was like top tier for me.
Right.
I loved her costume. I loved it. Like it was perfect. The Mohawk Doctor was pretty perfect too. I really liked that one. And Ian's was just funny. The eggplant, the character Ian. Well,
the boys have returned.
Do
I need to close this door?
No, because they'll probably be outside for a little minute. But I'm trying to like think through hold on. Let me refresh
Are you going to tell the story?
Which story?
Of the girl with the experience? Or is that for a later date?
Yes, I'm gonna tell that story.
We have a new term. And I'm excited for y'all to hear it.
Last day, we went thrifting for a little bit, and then we came back we went thrifting with like 3 of the other girls, and then we came back after like an hour or so. Took them to their first time going to Ollie's. Well, all but one. Alyssa had been to an Ollie's before. Laura, the Buy Panic one, when I tell you, she burped in Ollie's, and Daniel heard it from the back of the store. I was like, I'm impressed.
I'm nervous to get up and close this door. Not me slamming the door in their face.
So let me just look at my little timeline I got going on here. Oh, so we ended up just like chilling at the house after. I took a gummy. Everybody just kind of hung out the rest of the night. The boys arrived from their little boy outing. So the previous day they went and did like go-karts, and they went like mini golf and all this. So me high as hell sitting in the living room. Court is crocheting my blanket. She's been in outer space all weekend because Friday night somebody gave her something, and the milligrams were blurry.
The hippie calories.
Yes. And it was a lot. Like, one girl ended up leaving. I think, like, it just kind of made her feel just icky, and she ended up going home, and I think she ended up with a cold. But anyway, so I posted a picture once the blanket was done, and somebody said, I am so impressed that Court was able to finish that blanket all while being an astronaut in outer space.
Space cadet.
And like, eventually she said it was like she woke up when it like really like wore off. As at one point she said it was sometime early Saturday, and somebody's sitting there like having like a heartfelt conversation with her and is like talking about something, and she just stops and looks and goes, I think I'm still high. And I was like, oh my God. So we're sitting in the living room hanging out, and one of it's Pixie's boyfriend and then Emily's husband, and they're talking about how they went and played, telling us about this pirate. So they went somewhere. Hold on. Uno momento, as I have a picture of them going. There it is. It was called Sky Pirates of Mermaid Bay, but they kept calling it Butt Pirates of Mermaid Bay. So they're talking about this experience and this pirate, and me and Emily are dying laughing. Like, we can't, I'm crying. I'm laughing so hard because they're talking about this pirate. And I was like, are you sure this wasn't just a guy? Because he like, and now, for context, in the Discord, there is a section for the boys. It's called the Bud Hole. Okay? So Mr. Snitter, Daniel, made them Butthole security shirts. All these men wore their Butthole security shirts to go play mini golf. Okay?
Yes.
And they were like, I guess I have a video of him talking about this experience that I'll just play for. It's like 6 minutes long, so I'm not going to play it on here. But it was, me and Emily are just, we cannot breathe. We're laughing so hard. And then she shows, like, we see this picture of her husband, and she's like, what is that? And even like Pixie came upstairs from the theater, and she goes, why are you sitting next to a big old unicorn butt plug?
Right.
And she's like, why are you sitting like that? And it was just, and the boys are sitting there like, we didn't even think this was a funny experience at the time. And me and her like, you had a wackadoodle experience. You just didn't realize it. Because this pirate is like following them around, and he's like messing with their balls at each hole. And they were like,
they're golf balls.
Yes, they're golf balls. And like, he's like talking about how he's not allowed to have like a real sledgehammer or whatever it was, and how he's got to make one and all that. I was like, I feel like this man started out in character, because they said like when they first interacted with him, he was a normal dude. And I was like, I feel like he saw the butthole shirts and was like, I can be my real self.
These are my people.
Yeah. And he was like, well, if y'all are security, who's doing security while you're here? And they were like, we left our leader back at the house. Who, he's wearing a green mullet and a safety vest. And so, anyway, they're sharing this experience. I'm rolling. I'm laughing. And all the while, I've got my little Kindle over there. I'm sitting there playing solitaire. It's the exact same thing I do in the Discord. This is what I told them. I was like, this is wild. I was like, because this experience this weekend is exactly like being in the Discord, because our Discord is huge and there's all these different threads. And I was like, it's quite literally like being in the different threads and like floating around from thread to thread, right, but in person.
Right.
I was like, because like I felt like I could go sit in on a conversation, insert something funny. I'm going back in the house to do whatever. And that was the exact same, like I'm sitting there and I would wait to hear like my cue for me to say something some fuck ass funny shit. High as hell. Funny. Solitaire. Funny. Solitaire. But I'm listening. Right. I'm listening. Well, then the boys go off, do whatever. I think they went back to... I thought they went back to their house that they were staying at, but I think they went downstairs because they disappeared. And then I heard somebody was going out to the back deck, and I heard, do y'all want to hear my ghost story? And I said, let me pack up my shit and head out there.
Right.
All right. So... Shan, I asked her for her permission to tell this story on the podcast. And I was like, because I said, I got to hear this. So she's telling this story. And let me share, it's like a 1-minute clip of her telling an abridged version of the story. And then I'll fill in like what she told us.
Okay, so the red-eyed demon story. So growing up, I lived in the same house pretty much my entire life, and the attic was in my closet in my bedroom. And I used to be terrified because I'd always see eyes in there, and I'd always have to shut my closet door. Well, eventually the creature, whatever you want to call it, it would creep across my ceiling and then go into the living room closet. And I was just a terrified child of this thing. Well, when my sister moved in with me last year, she was like, hey, do you remember the red-eyed man? And I swear to God, I had never told a single soul about this because I was so terrified by this thing. I was like, just terrified. And so we realized after 20-something years that we both saw the same entity in our home for years, and we were both just terrified of it, so we never talked about it. But we realized this past year that, yes, we in fact saw the same thing, and maybe less crazy since we're crazy together. I don't know.
But yeah. So, but she was telling us that, like, this thing would, like, slip out of the, like, attic space. And she said it had red eyes. And she would see it, like, in her closet. And it would, like, slink across the ceiling and go through the house. And then, like, to the closet in the living room. And she was like, I never said anything. I didn't want to sound crazy. I was terrified of this thing. And, like, then her sister, which she said, whenever she moved in with her last year, her sister was like, do you remember how this house, then they called it, they call the houses that they lived in by the street name. They were like, the house on whatever. And she was like, yeah, why? And then she was like, the red-eyed man? You remember that? And she's like, holy shit.
Right.
So, and then the other spooky thing. So, I noticed it, and I just thought maybe, like, I was overhearing somebody, like, mentioning me or whatever. So, I had heard the term mimic before. Like a mimic, not like mimicking somebody, but a mimic.
Yeah.
And I was like, didn't think anything of it until it was that same night we're like sitting there talking about it. And I think it was Kaz was like, I swear I keep hearing somebody call my name. And then a couple of other people were like, they were like, I could have sworn, like, I kept hearing my name, but it sounded like somebody, like, it sounded like so-and-so, and I'd go be like, hey, what do you want? And they're like, I never called for you. And this happened all weekend to some people, but not everybody. And, like, I kept hearing, like, Britter or Brit. I think I even heard Brittany a couple of times, but, like, most everybody was calling me either Britter or Brit. And so, like, I kept hearing that, and I just thought I was, like, overhearing conversation, because, like, I had, like, made the bags and wrote everybody notes or whatever, so I just didn't know if anybody was just, like, talking about that, and I was not investigating. And then, like, it was, I would say, like, 6 or 7 people were, like, I kept hearing somebody call my name, and I went to ask, and nobody was calling my name. And then we had previously, like, told everybody, hey, this is the Appalachian region. Be aware of that. And then, like, don't, if you hear something out in the woods, like, hollering for you, don't.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. And so then also, too, I don't know if I told you about this, but, like, when we got back, Court was she was like, I swore I kept seeing stuff out of the corner of my eye. She was like, but I didn't know if it was just, like, the hippie gummy, affected me or what. And I'm like, no, it was definitely, like, I think there was some shit going on in the house. I don't think it was anything like I don't think it was anything dangerous or anything. It felt mischievous.
Yeah. But with that many people in the house, it's like,
yeah, I
got something to play with.
Yes. And like, but yeah, because it was like the amount of people who were like, I kept hearing like people call my name, and like I think one girl even said like it was something like her hearing her name woke her up.
Oh.
But I think overall though, it was mostly like, and it's not, when I say like it sounded like somebody who was also in the house.
Right.
Like at this point, it's like, it's Friday, Saturday. We've all gotten to talk to each other. We've all said, hey, we all recognize each other's voices a little bit more. And like some people's voices we know, because Pixie will use a lot of there's several of us for, like, not me, but for voice acting for her Sims stories and stuff. So like their voices we're familiar with. And it sounded like people who were there, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think I had heard the term mimic before, like a mimic before, but I don't think I've ever encountered one or anything.
Right.
But yeah, it was definitely creepy. Especially the more of us that were like, oh, hey, you heard that happened to you too?
Right.
Yeah. So.
And then that girl that gave you the term that I will henceforth use.
Oh, yeah. Because we were talking about skinwalkers, and I'll put it in my notes app. Because what did she call it?
A flesh pedestrian.
A flesh pedestrian. That was it. Yeah.
I will henceforth use that term. She is no longer skinwalker.
Because she got home and she was like, there's weird stuff happening at home. She's like, I don't think I brought home a flesh pedestrian. And I went,
a what?
A what? And then I had to immediately tell you, hey, she just called us a skinwalker,
so from here
flesh
on out,
pedestrian.
Just so that y'all know, that's what I'm calling it.
Flesh pedestrian.
Flesh pedestrian. That's almost as good as bodyguarding.
Yeah.
That's still my number one favorite alternate term.
Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Kat, for the new term.
I don't even know you, but I love you now.
She's really cool. I really like her. She also makes TikToks.
Let me just say
I'll send you one of hers. She's really, really pretty.
So the other person that was on this retreat with you that has their own podcast, that you sent me, where she was giving her recap of the thing.
It's the Ladies in Tangents.
So she was talking about, traveling alone.
Yeah.
And like going to the airport and all that. Mm-hmm. She's not lying when she says that it's like you feel like the main character in a movie.
Yeah.
When you're there by yourself and you're like going through all the motions and like you've got your headphones or your earbuds in and
your
like,
own soundtrack.
You're doing your thing and you're like, you're on your own.
Yeah.
Like you're all there.
Right.
And so it really does. Like, honestly, the trip that I took to Vegas. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm a nervous wreck the whole time.
Right.
I was very nervous about it. But 10 out of 10 would do it again.
Yeah.
Like it has.
Even she was like, I gotta travel more.
Yeah. It has.
Because I think she's also, I'm not familiar, but I think she's also having some health issues. And
That's
I think
what it
that's
seemed
also,
like.
yeah, I think that's also kind of spurned her to like say yes to more things.
Yes. But like 10 out of 10, I'm like, I should really look into traveling more by myself. Like to me, like, because TJ does that all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, do you know how empowering it feels to know that for everyone else, y'all are probably thinking this is really dumb for you to feel empowered by, but to like go into the airport by myself. Like my dad dropped me off.
Right. But
I mean, like, I'm there by myself.
Yeah.
I
you
went
have
through,
to navigate.
I checked in on my own on the app like the day before. I went through TSA by myself. I immediately went and got something to eat, something to drink because I had a while and I was hungry.
See, I think like for my first flying experience, if I ever decide to do that, I feel like I would need to be by myself. I feel like having somebody else with me will stress me out.
I hear you, I do, but I do think that because you've not done it, I think that having someone, because I
would also like, either I would need to do it by myself or I would need to do it with like a tried and true pro of the airport.
Because it can get confusing. I do think I'm glad because the point of us going to New Orleans last year was to get me ready to go to Vegas by myself because I hadn't flown since I was like, I think I was like 18.
Yeah.
And so that's been a minute. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what the airport looked like on the inside. Like none of that.
Yeah.
So
I don't even know what it looks like on the inside. I've never been in it.
So having him there that first time through to show me, okay, this is what you do. This is where you go. Here's all the terminals.
Yeah.
This is this is how it all works.
Yeah.
That was very necessary. Yeah. Now, like going, because we went to New Orleans and then we came back. Mm-hmm. So technically 2 flights with him and then going on that one by myself, like it was I went straight in through TSA, did all the things, got my food, got my drink, sat down, ate, video called with a friend of mine and her kid, talked to them for a minute, went on down to my gate, hung out until, it was time to board. We were boarding a little late.
Yeah.
Now, the getting off the plane process in an airport that I was unfamiliar with was very stressful. I did get lost. I didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
Because initially I was told that there would be like a tram type deal inside the airport that would take me from my gate to where I needed to go to get a ride.
Yeah.
There was not one. Even when we went back to, because he was like, there was one when I landed and it took me right to where I needed to be.
Yeah.
But then like, even when we went there to leave to come back home, we didn't see one. I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah. But like I had to navigate.
As far as you know, that is a work of fiction.
Right. He was like, you go out this door, go to this little box. It's tell them that you need to catch a bus to this place. And I'm like, okay, so I go out there. I'm on the phone with him. And I'm like, okay, where? Because at this point, I'm lost. And so I'm trying to tell him where I'm at. And he's like, okay, this is where you're going to go. There's a little box. Go out there. Tell them you want to ride the bus to here. And so she's like, okay, it's going to be like 45 minutes. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's fine. He's like, no, take your card back.
Yeah.
And he's like, just Uber. Because like the bus was going to cost me like $10, $15.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Uber.
Yeah.
That was quite a bit more.
Right.
He's
I'd
like,
almost just rather waited.
He was like, just Uber. And I'm like, okay. Now, then I had to go back into the airport in a different part to go down to a parking garage. It's mass chaos.
Yeah.
Because there's all these people standing here waiting for an Uber.
Right.
And then the Ubers have to park in this certain spot and then text you and tell you, here's where I am.
Yeah.
And then you have to go and find them. I'm leery about Ubers, especially by myself anyway.
Yeah. I'm so scared I'm going to get murdered in an Uber. I've only ridden in like 2 or 3.
It didn't help that like,
but I wasn't alone. I wasn't alone either.
I'm not familiar with Vegas. I'd never been, so I didn't know what it looked like.
Yeah.
So he's taking me through all these places, and I'm like, they're shady. And he was like, I would take you down, the main strip, but like traffic was awful. So he's hitting back roads, and we're going like underneath buildings that look like parking garages, but it's like roads. It's like underground tunnels to get to certain places. And I'm like, I'm constantly like, I'm sending my location to TJ the entire time because I'm like, I feel like I'm about to get murdered.
Right.
I have no idea where I am.
Yeah.
And but then finally getting there, he led me right to where I needed to be. And then he was like, when you're ready to leave, you come right back to this spot and tell them. Because like you literally don't have to like order an Uber on your phone. You just walk out. There's a dude that works there, and you're like, I need to go here. And they're like, cool. And they just wave a car because there's cars sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
They just wave a car, tell them this is where they're going. And they have like a screen on the back of the headrest.
Oh.
And so it's like a taxi.
Oh.
And you're just like, you pay there. And so, it was fine. I get there and like he's standing outside waiting on me. So I immediately jump out, grab my bag, and I'm darting to him.
Yeah.
But like, and I was so overwhelmed and I was just ready to go to bed.
Right.
But of course, we met his parents, went out to Fremont Street, and I was awake.
You were awake, but you were...
No, well, I'm saying because they're several hours behind us.
Oh, yeah.
I was awake for so long because I had gotten up at like 5 o'clock that morning because I had to drop the dogs, or Kendall was coming to get the dogs.
Yeah.
So I had been awake for several, like I'm talking, it felt like a full 24. Yeah. I was so tired. And so it was the thing. But like traveling alone, doing that it was very empowering. I was like, I can do this.
Oh, yeah.
I can absolutely do this.
That's kind of like what Sierra was saying. It's like, it felt like a whole different experience. Yeah. And it took kind of the nerves out of it for her. I do think for you flying the first time, I think that like you said, somebody that's done it a time or two. Yeah. I think that if you and I decided to go somewhere, we could figure it out.
You and I would be fine because
there would be hijinks.
Well, yeah.
But like I'm pretty good though.
I could get us through the airport, no problem.
Like I'm good at like following the signs. Like I'm really, really good at that. Yeah. So, because I'm like, if there's a sign, I'll keep going until the sign says you have arrived.
Right.
And because like that's the one thing that like kills me with like Daniel driving, because like he'll be using the GPS but he ain't looking at any signs, and I'm like, there was a big ass sign that said you should have gotten off right there.
Right.
But anyway, but yeah. So also too, I didn't tell you about like one of the best parts. So the first night I told you we all felt kind of gross, and like we were all like all the committee who were setting up, and we were all just kind of like just bleh. And I said, I'm about to go take a shower. I went, took a shower. I come back out. Everybody's like, how do you feel? I said, like a whole new human being. I was like, in court, she was like, I think I'm going to go take a shower. I was like, it'll change your life.
I'm not going to lie.
And also too, for like a house that big, the water was hot and the pressure was good.
A vacation of any kind, be it just a weekend, like a retreat or something like that, a shower in a hotel room or a shower in a cabin or anything like that, changes your life for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
For some reason. It doesn't matter if that water pressure is terrible.
Yeah.
Something about that, just washing
off your travel day off of you.
Yes.
And like for us, we were like running around, scrambling, getting stuff decorated, and that was just like a whole, and the heat was on.
Yeah.
And then there were like lights we couldn't figure out how to turn on.
A vacation shower and a vacation shit are life-changing.
I didn't shit the whole time we were there.
I know. We had that discussion.
Our toilet, so we ended up having to have maintenance come in at one point because we had a leak on the other side of the house. And then Daniel was like, y'all also need to be aware of this bathroom situation. So like our sink was not attached to the wall, really. Like it was there, but like I didn't realize it until the like last day when I like bumped into the sink and the sink shifted. And I was like, oh, okay, that's just another thing. And then like when we like were leaving, I looked at Pixie and I said, come sit on this toilet. She said, what do you mean? I said, I was like, you don't have to put the like lid up or anything, just sit on it. She sits and the whole toilet sinks. And she goes, you've been dealing with that all weekend? And I was like, all weekend. So the maintenance man was like, this bathroom was just redone. So they didn't, what it seems like is they did not replace the subfloor under the toilet. And it had like, I don't know if there was a leak or something, but it was very, very soft.
Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, I'm afraid to put my whole weight on this toilet. I was like, if it's serious, I'll go to the like hallway bathroom, because that's where the poopery is and everything. I was like, but I was very afraid to put my full, because it like, when I would sit down, like you could hear the bolt like go, like clunk.
And I wouldn't have been able to that weekend anyway, because there were that many people in that house. Like, honestly, we've gone on vacations with like his parents, and like we'll share a hotel room or a condo or something. And then like the fact that they're in the same room, not like the actual room, but like, you know, we're sharing this condo or this hotel room. The fact that they can possibly hear or smell what is coming out of that bathroom bothers me so bad that I just won't do it. And so, like, when TJ and I first got together and we had gone on a couple trips, like, it's hard for me to poop anywhere but in my house.
Yeah.
I, like, even here, I will do it if it's an absolute, like, I'm going to shit my pants before I can make it home in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it's necessity if it's not at home. So, like, he used to laugh so hard because we'd go on vacations and I'd be like, I have to go to the bathroom. And so I'll go and I'm in there for a few minutes and then I come out and he's like, did you take a vacation poop? And I'm like, I did take a vacation poop. And he's like, look at you. And I'm like, I know. But like, if I've got my own room, like I finally made it to the point, if we're on vacation, this is vacation home.
Yeah.
As long as it's just me and my family.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that, like, we have been living in the same house for what feels like 100 years.
Yeah.
And we have one bathroom. So we're sharing one bathroom amongst 5 people at this point.
Yeah.
And so, and it's centralized in the house. And it's right next to the air return.
Yeah.
So if anybody in that house takes the shit, everybody's going to know it.
Yeah.
And, you know, at this point, it's my husband and my children, so I don't care. Yeah. They all smell it. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, as long as I'm not sharing my condo or my hotel room with anybody else, it's just me and mine.
Yeah.
I'm good. But, like, when we went to Disney and we were camping.
Yeah, I was like, that.
TJ even looked at me. He's like, you're not going to shit the whole week we're there. And I'm like, I'm absolutely not going to shit the whole week we're there, because we were camping. So we were sharing a community bathroom. And so luckily, night one of the trip, or day one of the trip, like we get there, we set up camp, we go to the parks, we come back, we sleep. It was hot, muggy, because it was like October in Florida.
Yeah.
It's hot, muggy, it's gross. The next day, it's pouring down rain off and on all day because Hurricane Michael was coming through. So they were like, we're evacuating all tent campers in the campgrounds. We're giving y'all a complimentary, room. So they put us in like a resort, a hotel room. And I'm like, thank God.
Disney resorts, from what I've heard, are like the safest place. Like, people in Florida will go to Disney during a hurricane.
Yeah, it was because I was on my period that week too.
Yeah.
So like I actually did, the only night that we stayed in the campground, I had to get up in the middle of the night, put my shoes on, leave my tent, go to the bathroom because I was on my period and things needed to happen. But like, we get to the hotel room. All day long that day, before we got word that we were getting upgraded, he and I were already like debating on if we wanted to spend extra money to get a room, because I was not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh, thank God I can take a vacation poop. Like, this has got to happen.
Well, I think that's about it. We came, like, everything ended up being fine. Everybody was very sad to, like, end the retreat. A lot of people were, like, very upsetty spaghetti. And then we came home. She finished my blanket. We went and ate at Loveless Cafe. Took her to McKay's. She enjoyed that. Because I was like, we were talking about getting something to eat, And I was like, how do you feel about Chinese? And she goes, I don't really like it. And I was like, oh my God. And then I was like, okay, we'll go to Loveless Cafe. I was like, if you want to have like a Nashville experience, we got to go to Loveless Cafe. And which we went on Mother's Day, and I didn't think about it, but we got there like right before the Mother's Day like rush. So like we had like a 30-minute wait, but it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
Because as we were leaving is when all of the like
after church
groups, the groups were coming in. So, we were right between like church people and Mother's Day out people.
See, the other places outside of the South have that issue with like church rush. After church rush on
I don't
Sundays?
know, because she was amazed with how many, like, we were sitting there, like, describing the amount of churches just in town and, like, within city limits, and she goes, oh my God.
So, like, do people have to travel forever to go to church if they're a church person up in the north?
Maybe.
Like,
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I think it's just, like, because we're in the Bible Belt, there's, like, more of a prevalence of it. Like, they have churches, obviously, but I just don't think that, like, it's not going to be like within like just in town, there's like 5 churches for us. And I was like, that doesn't include, I was like, we drove past my parents' house and I was like, there's 3 on this road.
Yeah.
I was like, that's just,
yeah.
I was like, on this road alone, there's 3.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's other roads where there's several.
Yeah. It's a lot here. And honestly, and this is going to sound terrible, and I may actually mean it the way it sounds. If we want to go out to eat on a Sunday.
Yeah, you got to like plan
it is very.
I don't typically go out to eat on a Sunday.
No. If you want to go out to eat or if you want to go grocery shopping.
Ain't nobody gonna treat wait staff worse than the church crowd.
Well, and it's very inconvenient is the term that I'm looking for us non-church going people.
Yeah.
To have to manage my time, which that sounds really awful. It does.
Like, well, I mean, even
but
just
do I kind of feel that way? Yeah.
Yeah. I feel inconvenienced by it. I think that's okay. And they're always like loud and acting up. Like it's almost always like it's almost never like just like a quiet group.
You just came out of church learning how to be a good Christian, and then you're come out here and act like a Karen.
You're gonna go yell at your waitress for bringing you like half the amount of ice in your cup that you wanted,
right?
I mean, it just doesn't. It doesn't matter.
Anyway, let's not go there.
Right, but. Anyways, so she stayed the night with us again. We all went to bed kind of early. Not early enough, apparently, because she changed her flight. So originally she was going to like hang out all day Monday. And then I was going to take her to the airport. Well, she changed her flight because that would have put her like getting home at like midnight. And she just didn't want to. And I don't blame her. She didn't want to fool with that. So her flight was at like, we had to get her to the airport. We had to leave, be awake and ready to leave by like 4:30. I hear a little knock, knock, knock. And she's like, I overslept. And I look at the clock and it says 5:24. And I said, shit. I swear, we ain't never got up, loaded up, got out of here faster. It was like 15 minutes. We were out of here. It all worked out. She got home on time and all that. And like got back to her boys and it all worked out. But like, that 10 minutes where we were like kind of delirious from sleeping and
in a straight panic
of like we gotta get her to the airport.
That takes you back to the oh shit, I overslept and the bus is going to be here in 10 minutes and I've got to get my shit together so I don't miss the bus and get yelled at.
So, and then I spent a week making a scrapbook for Pixie. She hasn't picked it up from the post office box yet, but like maybe she will have by the time this episode goes out Wednesday. And I'll have like dropped the link because I scanned all of the pages for the rest of the retreat attendees. So I'll drop that link whenever she acknowledges she got it. I never expect her to open anything I send her like on video or whatever.
Right.
I send it because I think of her and then I'm like, hey, you'll like this. But this one, I just put a note in there that was just like, hey, just drop me a line, let me know you got it. And then what?
Go finish yours and I'll tell you what just happened.
But I was like, and then I'll drop that link in the Discord, and then that'll be it. And now I've got to work on my scrapbook, which I've got everything there.
So, Gemma.
Yes.
Not last night, but the night before.
We have 25 minutes left on our recording.
Okay.
So.
This is quick.
Yeah.
So, not last night, but the night before. Gemma was like, I've been really good this week. And I haven't bothered you a whole lot while you're working. And I've been so good. And
that sounds like a kid who wants something.
I really think that we need to go get ice cream.
Oh, my God.
From a specific place in town that's fairly new.
Yeah. Is it the one that y'all like to go to over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, I really think. So TJ and I are both laughing because we're like, really? Okay. And I'm like, you know what? That was good. I almost fell for it. But we knew, we had the concert last night, so she was going to go stay with my in-laws.
Yeah.
TJ goes, listen, you get over to their house and you look at people and you're like, you know what sounds really good? Ice cream. Yeah. And you know what I think that this place has? Banana splits, because people's never going to turn down a banana split.
Yeah.
So she was like, that's a good idea, but can we also go tonight? And he's like, no. So ends up, they went to Waffle House for dinner and got too full and didn't go there. They were going to go today, but one of the other cousins had come over and spent the night too, and they stayed up until 4 a.m. And so when we got there at 11:15, 11:30, she had literally just woken up. And so she was mad because they didn't get to swim and they didn't get to go there. So TJ's like, I'll take y'all there tonight. I just get a text. You got it. Your balance is now 76 points. You need 24 more points for $5 off any purchase. So I'm
now
like,
you know where they are.
So they went. And he used my phone number for points. I should text him and be like, thanks for putting my number in. He knows anywhere that we go locally that's do you have, or anywhere we go really, they're like, do you, have a phone number with us to put in points? He's like, probably. And he just puts in my number. The only place that is not the case is Dick's Sporting Goods. He puts his number in. But yeah.
Well, I think if you've lasted this long, kudos to you. We're over 2.5 hours. But I don't think our next few episodes will be so yappy at the beginning. We'll probably get right on into it.
We let it all out. And honestly, I think
I like these chit-chatty episodes. It feels like therapy.
Yes. Let us know if you guys like when we do these little catch-ups so that we can...
I know we have at least one fan, and he's, I think, in this house somewhere.
Well, they were literally right here a minute ago.
Yeah.
But, because you and I talked about this when we were planning this month's worth of episodes. The first episode of the month, we talked about doing, a catch-up for the month, so that every episode, it's not 15 minutes of us derailing,
and it's not so old news by the time you hear it,
right?
Usually our first episode of the month we like to do the spooky state episode,
right?
But I think doing the chit chat catch up, especially if we've done things, or
right.
I think this May was a heavy month for doing things. So they won't always be
this long. But this is helpful with us because this is one less episode.
One episode we have to don't have to put a whole lot of effort into.
We don't have to sit down and write.
Right. I literally just made a talking points.
I didn't even do that. I probably should have.
I knew I would forget things.
I probably did. And it'll come to me later when we're recording and I'm going to be like, I remember. Let's fill you in now.
But good job. Congratulations to Taylor Swift. Proud of you. Love you. I hope you're thriving and celebrating.
TJ said, I said, thanks for the points. And he goes, no problem. And I didn't use your money off.
Fuck J.K. Rowling. Joanne, you know what you did.
Fuck that hoe.
Had a good time at the retreat. You had a good time at Jelly Roll.
I did. It was a great time. I bawled my eyes out like a baby because my son knew all the words. He's screaming at the top of his lungs.
Yeah.
Like, did I even get to that point in the thing? I don't know. Screaming every word, especially of Save Me, with his whole chest. And I called Brittany.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that I couldn't really make out the words, but he was very, very into it. I was like, and it was so cute. Chest. And then, like, he looks over and he, like, sees that you're on a video call with me, and I went,
and she waved at him. Every time he called us videoing, he'd kind of stop a little bit. Yeah. Sometimes he didn't. But, like, with his whole chest, he was screaming every song that he knew.
Yeah.
Having the time of his life.
Cute.
I took one picture of him at the beginning when, like, when he was supposed to come out.
Yeah.
And, like, the look on his face was priceless.
Yeah. Music is important. Share your favorite music with your children.
Yes.
As long as it's, age appropriate, but like, even if it's not, who cares?
Listen, we have a rule in my house. If you're listening to stuff that you probably shouldn't be, don't let me hear it, because if I do, then you're going to be in trouble and you can't listen to it anymore. But like, that's it.
Yeah. But
do we have a nonprofit?
I do. And it is Pride Month, which I think today is the last day. Nobody ever mentions it, but it's like National, like Military Remembrance Month or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think that might be like, I might,
I didn't even talk
at the beginning of like the month or whatever, just to, like, if there's like an appreciation month, like mention it. So like people are aware. I think I might start doing that. But it's Pride Month. So I selected Sage, and in honor of Pride Month, let's see, Sage stands proudly with the LGBTQ plus pioneers across the country who've been fighting for decades for their right to live with dignity and respect. We're excited to work with this does say current administration, and I was like, I don't know if that's been updated. And key staff in Washington, D.C., Los Angeles, Chicago, and San Francisco, plus our nationwide network of affiliates to advocate for LGBTQ plus older people at the federal, state, and local levels. They mobilize LGBTQ plus people and allies when our rights are at stake, educate policymakers about LGBTQ plus aging issues. This is like specifically geared towards seniors in the LGBTQ plus community. Release original policy briefs, publication, and infographics. They lead coalitions that integrate diverse elders into policy conversations, and they march and rally with LGBTQ plus older people and our allies. And if you feel so inclined, I will put the link to donate directly to the organization in the episode notes, as per usual.
I like it.
Yeah, I wanted to do something a little different. I knew I definitely wanted to do something like in regards to Pride Month, and I'm glad I found something that was like because nobody ever talks about the elderly,
right?
In this, when you think LGBTQ plus, you think like Gen Z or something, or like even a millennial,
right?
Because aren't like all millennial women lesbians or something? I don't know. But nobody ever talks about seniors, and I felt like that was a good choice. Follow us
on Facebook,
Instagram,
TikTok,
YouTube. Our YouTube is like doing okay.
It's doing things.
It's doing well.
Email us at wandersweird@gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Oh yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye.